Fox's Rachel Sutherland. Well, now that the voting is over, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he hopes partisanship over a new coronavirus relief bill will subside. McConnell says a new bill is needed by year's end. He's also signaling that something Democrats want is possible: support for state and local governments. Smaller aid bills proposed by Senate Republicans have been blocked by Senate Democrats. America is listening to Fox News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
The timing's a coincidence, but the U.S. is now officially out of the Paris Climate Accord.
3 years after President Trump set the wheels in motion, the United States' withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement is now complete. The president says the accord, in which countries pledge to cut emissions, is unfair to the U.S. Supporters of the deal admit the American departure is a blow.
Of course, the United States is a leader.
The UN's climate change chief, Patricia Espinosa, says the withdrawal will leave a gap
in the global efforts to achieve the goals and ambitions of the Paris Agreement.
Joe Biden has pledged to rejoin the agreement if he's elected president. In London, Simon Owen, Fox News.
President Trump has argued the U.S. would shoulder too much of the deal's economic burdens, while some of the world's biggest polluters don't do enough to curb their emissions. Voters in Alabama approve a measure that would begin the process of deleting racist language from the state's 119-year-old constitution, which was approved to entrench white supremacy as state law. Similar proposals have been twice rejected since 2000, but this time the measure passed with 67% of the votes. More hiring in the U.S. in October, but it's a mixed report overall.
Payroll processing company ADP says private employers added 365,000 new jobs in October, fewer than forecast, though the gains were spread across all industries. ADP says the labor market continues to add jobs, but at a slower pace. September job growth by private employers was revised slightly higher. The Labor Department releases its October employment report on Friday. Jenny Cosola, Fox News.
An Election Day rally extended on Wall Street. The Dow's up 738 points, back over 28K. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly to mostly sunny skies, windy and warm on this Wednesday. This continues to look like the warmest day of the week, but we've got a great stretch of weather on the way. 75 for the high today, 82 the record. Tonight, partly cloudy, 49. Thursday, partly to mostly sunny, 72. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, keep it coming, sunny, 70 to 75 degrees. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Welcome to What's Next.
Yeah, it's over now.
2020 is almost over, but the work is just beginning.
But I can breathe somehow.
The pursuit of happiness and the pursuit of clarity. You found it here.
When it's all worn out.
97.1 FM Talk, the place for ideas.
Say that it's over now.
Mark Cox here. Selling your home's a big deal. Choosing the wrong agent could cost you big time. So what if I told you can have one of the top realtors in St. Louis working for you? How about safety and selling? No one is better prepared to help you list and sell your home safely and hassle-free from start to finish than Gloria Liu. She's with GL International Realty, part of Coldwell Banker Premier Group. Listen, Gloria has 9,000 buyers looking for homes right now. That's one of the reasons she sells faster and nets her seller 3% more money when compared to the average agent. On a $300,000 home, that's $9,000 more dollars in your pocket. Gloria is so confident she'll sell your home, she'll guarantee it. If she can't sell your home, she will buy it and guaranteed in writing. I strongly recommend you call Gloria today. 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. I've been warning our clients that IRS employees are back at work since mid-July, and their collection efforts have ramped up. Well, sure enough, it looks like it's happening. So if you have unfiled tax returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Tax resolution plans are based off your current income. So if your current income is less than normal due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this is precisely the time for the Lance Drury Law Firm to help you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The only person who can change your life is you, but you need to know how. Listen to my show, The Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins.
Listen to The Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
Tony La Russa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
It's not over. It's just begun.
We did. You know, Joe, I ran because of you.
You're a part of what's next.
Because you did a poor job. If I thought you did a good job, I would have never run.
97.1 FM Talk. Information with perspective. The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Is the polling industry dead?
You know, I really hope so. And I could name some of the people who should be fired immediately. And I think I will. I just need to calm down enough to get their names on paper. But clearly, look, the instinct of this is true in every industry because this is a function of human nature. But you cover for yourself and you think of an excuse, your children do it. Well, there's a good reason I did. Okay, no, you screwed up and you have to acknowledge it in order to get better.
This is Tucker Carlson in the middle of the night last night, when everything was looking kind of like it was starting to shape up for Donald Trump. Tucker Carlson there calling out the people in the polling industry, and I could not agree with him more. Once again, Tucker nails it. Happy day after election, and yes, it will be a happy day one way or the other because you woke up in America today, and that is God's greatest gift. I want to tell everybody that we are going to go through this show today. We were up last night broadcasting. If you joined us, so many people did. We were up till 3 a.m. when we finally called it after Brett Baer and Martha McCallum called it on Fox News. We stayed up, and we did 9 straight hours of live streaming on our Annie Fry YouTube page. Thank you for everybody who came out, and we are going to have all the breaking news with you today as it happens, and we expect it to happen. So Zach Smith is joining us now. We want to go straight to an expert. He's a legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation. And Zach, I just want to give you the opportunity to kind of set the stage as somebody who's looking at this from a legal perspective, because the entire country are going to be Twitter lawyers now, and we're probably all just absolutely horrendous at it. So let's get the legal expertise from somebody who's actually a legal expert first. Zach, what are we looking at here?
Well, thanks so much for having me on, Annie. As you mentioned, it was a late night last night. I think it was a much closer race than most people anticipated. And so it looks like it's really coming down to kind of three key states, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. And, I'm sure you and your listeners remember a couple of weeks ago, there was a lot of litigation, a lot of emergency motions before the U.S. Supreme Court dealing with the Pennsylvania Supreme Court's decision to require state officials to accept absentee ballots that arrive after Election Day and basically establish a rebuttable presumption that any ballots that arrive, unless there's clear evidence that they were not mailed on or before Election Day, they'd have to be counted. So even if the postmark's not legible, even if there were potentially other issues with the ballot, those would still have to be counted. And so I think right now, with the race being very close in Pennsylvania, with the outstanding votes looking like they're primarily coming from absentee mail-in votes, I certainly think that will be a prime target, a prime source of any litigation that goes forward.
So what is the extent of litigation that we could see? What kind of challenges? I'm sure that there are many different options that either campaign and maybe both campaigns will have to choose from and will engage in. But right now, what you have seen so far as these ballots are being counted, especially the absentee in an age of COVID where the early vote this year is unlike anything we've seen before, what do you foresee, and maybe where do you foresee it happening as the days progress past Tuesday, Election Day?
Well, I've heard several folks say this, and I think, the potential is certainly there for Harrisburg 2020 to seem like it's Tallahassee, Florida from 2000. If you think back 20 years ago to the 2000 Bush v. Gore election, we remember hanging chads, kind of the big commotion in the state capitol in Tallahassee, Florida, over what the vote count procedures would be, whether recount should move forward. And there, the U.S. Supreme Court ultimately had to step in and end the recount in Florida, which ultimately led to George W. Bush being declared the victor. I'm very hopeful it doesn't get there, but certainly, with the U.S. Supreme Court declining to intervene ahead of the election, basically suggesting to state officials that they segregate any ballots that arrive after Election Day for future litigation. We certainly could see a lot of litigation in Pennsylvania, a lot of litigation revolving around whether and how these absentee ballots that arrive late will be counted.
Is it possible they just entirely get thrown out?
I mean, look, anything is possible. I think what everybody wants to be sure is that everybody's using the same standards, the same procedures, that the votes are being fairly and accurately tabulated. And, back in 2000, there was an issue with different counties using different mechanisms in Florida. It wasn't clear that every county in Florida was applying the same standard. And so I think that will be a major focus here, that whatever the method is used for counting these ballots, if they are counted, lawyers on both sides want to be sure that everybody is using the same method.
We've been hearing things coming out of Arizona, the suggestion, I guess, is it in Maricopa County, that apparently these ballots were being filled in by Sharpies and not pens, and they don't read, the machines don't read Sharpie, they only read ink. What happens in a scenario like that? Do all the ballots just get hand counted based on what was filled in? I mean, that seems like a disaster.
Well, it is. It's really a tough situation to face. So many of these election procedures, the mechanisms, the Constitution provides the state legislatures have the primary authority to set election rules and procedures. And so really, the mechanisms for conducting elections vary a great deal from state to state. And so a lot of this will be issues of state law. A lot of state court litigation will go forward on, a lot of those issues. And really, you only start to see the federal litigation come into play if there are constitutional issues raised. Again, if everybody's votes are not being counted equally, you could have an equal protection issue. And so I think it, unfortunately, certainly looks like that the situation a lot of people were hoping to avoid, that there wouldn't be this kind of wave of post-election litigation is not turning out to be true. And I know both the Trump campaign and the Biden campaign, they both have massive teams of lawyers set up and ready to go and litigate these issues in most of these battleground states.
When you are looking at the duration, I remember 2000 happening. I wasn't as much as an invested mind into that, elections when I was a junior in high school, but I knew what was going on and I had just started paying attention to it. That was drawn out very long. Is this something that you think could take weeks and weeks, or do you think it's going to be a little more painful than ripping the Band-Aid off on election day, but maybe we'll know by the end of the week?
Well, it really just depends. I'm very hopeful that we'll have a clearer picture by either the end of today or early tomorrow. I know Nevada said they're not going to release any more results until tomorrow, Thursday of this week. Pennsylvania is still processing. We just heard over 1 million ballots, I think, is what Governor Wolf in Pennsylvania said. And so, once we get a better sense of how close it is, where these votes are coming from, the types of votes that are still outstanding, we may have a better, view of kind of what the potential litigation will look like, and also what a potential timeline would look like at that point.
We're speaking with Zach Smith, a legal fellow with the Heritage Foundation. I don't know what kind, if you have this advice, but I'm going to request it anyway. What do you advise people who are watching this? I mean, this couldn't be any more emotionally charged. And, we understand as non-lawyers, except for the Twitter lawyers, we understand what it means to go cast a ballot and to have that ballot counted and to have that reported for us, on election night. And if it extends late into the night, it makes it more exciting, but we're used to having an answer. Once this turns the corner into legal challenges, we're going to not, us civilian folks here, we're not going to understand what's going on. We're not going to be able to bob and weave through the legalese that is going to be out there, which means that the voters, the American people, are going to fall back on emotion, which is a dangerous thing right now for our country because we are so emotionally charged, where at the bottom of all of this, somewhere lies the truth. And whatever the truth is, we need to get to that. What's your advice as somebody who does understand the legal conversation as it's being had on the national scale to folks out there who want to know the truth? They care passionately about their country. They care passionately about their candidate. But the days, potentially weeks ahead, we're not going to understand, the ins and outs of the legal challenges that continue to be put in front of us.
Sure. And look, I think it's, again, we're still in the early stages of this, so we don't know exactly how it's going to play out in terms of the specific challenges, in terms of the length of time. And so, I won't sugarcoat it. We could be in for kind of a rough road ahead, a lengthy legal battle. But certainly, I would encourage everyone to take a deep breath. Like you said in the intro, Annie, we wake up every day in the United States of America, which is still the greatest country on the earth. And really, in many ways, we are privileged, to see this process play out in front of our eyes, where so many countries in the world do not get this opportunity, to engage in the electoral process, the robust debate that we're having here. But certainly, pay attention to the news. Certainly, the networks have, I think, since 2000 and in the intervening years, they've gotten better. They're not all the way there to know what's going on. And always, I encourage your listeners, go to heritage.org. My colleague, Hans von Spakovsky, writes extensively about election law issues. I've been writing about some election law issues. And really, aside from, kind of the mainstream media sources, I'm sure myself and my colleagues at Heritage will do our best to break everything down and keep everyone informed of the latest developments.
Zach, it's been a pleasure to have you on here. I am going to be leaning heavily on experts, exactly like you folks at the Heritage Foundation, to give us the straight and narrow, because there's going to be a lot of hyperbole out there. And we're grateful to start the show out with you. Zach, thank you so much. Appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
Great. Thanks, Annie. Take care. Bye-bye.
You as well. Bye-bye. Zach Smith, a legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation. And as you know, we don't normally start this at 11 a.m., but we are today because we are going to be doing basically Decision 2020 hour 542 or something like that as we continue to move through and see what is going to unfold here today. We are very grateful that you've chosen to spend some time with us. I want to stress this to you. I just want you to understand this and hold on to this. If you are listening to this country as an American citizen, you are a blessed person. And I will tell you, when we come back, a bigger picture of what has happened yesterday, because there are major stories that have developed from yesterday that aren't being talked about because we don't know who won the presidential race. I've got some positive news for you. I don't know how the presidency thing is going to end up. If you've been listening to the Annie Fry Show for any amount of time, I have never, ever told you that I think that Trump is a shoo-in to win this race. This was my worst case scenario, which is the anxiety that I had. I wanted to be proven to be a crazy person. And I wanted to be like, I was wrong and everything. All these pollsters were right, or it was a red wave. That didn't happen. Basically, my anxiety is now all of our anxiety, and we're going to get through it together. But if you woke up in America, you thank God for that. And we're going to be back in just a minute. And I'll paint a broader brush stroke here when we return. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to special coverage of Decision 2020 with the Annie Fry Show.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show.
Rolling wheels and shifting gears around that Jersey Turnpike. Barney stopped me with his gun 10 minutes after midnight.
Hi, it's Michael Mohan with Community Mortgage. With all the bad news out there, it's easy to miss the good news. Mortgage rates are at historic lows, making now a great time to buy or refinance a home. My customers are locking in the best rates in a generation. Now is the time to use the equity in your home to cash out for a remodel, pay off high-interest credit card debt, or rid yourself of the dreaded PMI. During these volatile times, you need an experienced local loan officer working for you. Call me, Michael Mohan, at 314-336-6050. I'm here in St. Louis, and when you call, you talk to me. Whether you are purchasing or refinancing, I want to help you save money on your home loan. Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage, 314-336-6050. Online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage LLC, NMLS 250-353-224-143.
Selecting a financial advisor is one of the most important decisions you will make heading into retirement. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money every Saturday morning at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Choosing a financial advisor is a critical step in planning for your retirement. You want to find an advisor you can trust is working in your best interest with the experience to do the job well. Providing guidance solely in your best interest is foundational to our team's approach. And with over 90 years of combined experience, you can have confidence we have the depth of knowledge to help you navigate important financial decisions. If you're retiring in the next 5 years or need a second opinion on your current plan, contact us today for a free consultation. To schedule your free retirement planning consultation, contact us at bobstockdale.com. That's bobstockdale.com. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
It was a time of optimism. Businesses were growing and the American dream was alive. But a health and economic crisis lay in wait, threatening our security and prosperity. Businesses struggled to survive and support their employees. The weight was on their shoulders. Insperity was built for times like this. We've provided confidence amid the chaos, restoring the indomitable spirit of the American entrepreneur, together rising above. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Thanksgiving will be here before you know it, followed by Black Friday, Cyber Monday, holiday parties, gift giving, traveling, time off work, Christmas. It's the time of year when credit cards get used the most. Well, mortgage interest rates are still in the twos, and there's never been a better time to get locked in on a refinance. Now that's how you win the holidays and start the new year off right. TheHomeLoanExpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Gene Evans.
The Democrats are all doom and gloom. The dark winter, Joe Biden says. President Trump says, hey, we're going to get through this. We want that message of hope. Not everything's going to hell and only the government can save you.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9. 97.1 FM Talk.
Used to keep it cool, used to be a fool, all about the bounce in my step.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
I could hit refresh and forget. Used to keep it cool.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Should I keep it light, stay out of the fight? No one's gonna listen to me. If I write a song, preaching what is wrong, will they let me sing on TV? Should I keep it light? Is that right?
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I feel like I never left, folks. I feel like this has just been a soldiering on scenario, and we will do this together because I know you feel like that too. I don't know how long y'all made it last night. We were broadcasting on the Annie Fry YouTube page last night until 3 a.m. and we were just sitting there like, because there were still votes trickling in Michigan and a few in Wisconsin, and we were like, is it done? Like, if you're still trickling in votes but nobody's calling anything, can you just say that, okay, for tonight, we're gonna hold off everything and we're gonna reconvene at such and such time, which at 3 a.m. Brett Baer and Martha McCallum said that's what they were gonna do. And they said they'd be back there like at 11-ish, which the hilarious part was at one point it was about 1:30 in the morning. And I don't know if it was Dana Perino was talking about how like this could go quite deep into the night. And Britt Hume says off mic, but audibly from the studio, he goes, you got me for 30 minutes. I'm out at 2. and it's like, if you're Britt Hume, you do what you do. That's fine. I get that. I mean, Britt Hume stayed up twice as long as friggin' Joe Biden did. So my goodness.
And Annie, if you look at these maps, even the AP one says North Carolina has 100% of the votes in, but they're not calling anything.
Yeah. I mean, see, here's the thing, folks. If Joe Biden wins this election fairly, he wins the election fairly. I think we can all agree with that. Doesn't mean I'm going to be happy about it. We're going to have some trepidation about what is ahead. But if Joe Biden wins, then Joe Biden wins. You just want to know that it's fair. You just want to know that the votes that were cast are the ones that were counted. And the idea that there is potentially an opportunity to have votes be coming in a little bit later in Pennsylvania. There's just a lot of shenanigans. And you have the doofus AG in Pennsylvania saying things like, the votes will be counted and then Joe Biden will be the winner in Pennsylvania. It's like, maybe don't say that part out loud. Like if you want that, that's fine. You get to have an opinion. You get a vote. Don't say that out loud to people, goofballs. So let's go ahead, Katie. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, did you guys wake up to your Facebook and your Twitter, everyone losing their mind about Donald Trump speaking last night? Because that's what I woke up to.
Well, I was up and watching that happen in real time. And it was, I haven't checked in to the social media part of it yet because honestly, it's probably the way for me to get a lot of people unfollowed, and I don't want to do that. I haven't gone into the social realm of it yet,
or have a brain aneurysm.
Yeah, the New York Times website, which has given really good county, specific state by state results throughout the course of the night. 95% of the ballots in North Carolina's 15 electoral votes. And Donald Trump is winning by about 80,000 votes there. So you could add 15 to his 213 votes. That puts him at 228. Check my math. And Georgia as well, 16 electoral votes. He's winning by about 80, almost 90,000 votes there with 93% voting. They actually reported that they had a pipe burst in Georgia. I'm like, oh, you don't say. And there was a report that it didn't affect any ballots, but a room that was holding the ballots had a pipe burst, and that's why they paused it and said that they were going to resume ballot counting at 11 a.m. today, and I believe that's Eastern, so 10 a.m. So I expect maybe we'll hear something out of Georgia before our show wraps up here at 3 p.m. 16 in Georgia, 15 in North Carolina. That's 31 votes. We're not having this conversation if those don't go to Trump. That's a situation where if we add those 31 votes to Donald Trump's 213, you get to 244, and Pennsylvania is going to have to go his way, or you're going to have a Michigan or a Wisconsin and a something else. So this is not stacked in Donald Trump's favor, especially with the short, small margins, where when I went to bed last night, and last night was early this morning, and when many of you went to bed last night, you were looking at this, and Wisconsin was pink, Michigan was pink, Pennsylvania was pink, North Carolina was pink, Georgia was pink. A lot of people have a lot of questions about this. I wish that we would have the conversation now about how we count ballots, about how we report ballots, maybe not now, but like maybe in April of next year, so that we can do it not in the context of what's happening right now with the election that's in front of us. I don't understand how we got to this point where we're dealing with COVID all year long, and we've got like ballot scenarios changing up at the very, very last minute. I mean, that's just begging for court challenges. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go through it, and we're going to go through it together. It is what it is, folks, and we can't we're powerless as we sit here. We voted, we did our responsibility. Now we are going to have to watch and see what happens next and pray for the best. And when I say pray for the best, I mean pray for your country. Looking at Pennsylvania right now, 20 electoral votes with 80% in. You've got Donald Trump up with 80% in by about 420,000 votes. He's got 53.5%. So, if you're looking at that and you're like 80%, he's got a sizable lead. You went to bed last night and there were 6-figure leads in these states, and they've all flipped. Well, the north states have flipped: Wisconsin, Michigan, and potentially Pennsylvania as well. So, there are a lot of stories that we can talk about that came out of last night. I'm going to tell you what, the story that will be interesting to look at, regardless of whether Trump wins or whether Trump loses, and I actually think it will favor Donald Trump more in the event that he loses, is what he has done to the Republican Party. Because the Republican Party, what was the final tally in the House? I haven't looked here since this morning, so I'm gonna go check here too and see if I can pull it up and see what the latest is. But the Democratic Party if they win, they have no mandate. If Donald Trump wins re-election, there's no strong mandate one way or the other. If it's a referendum on President Trump and he barely squeaks by, that just means that we are about as divided as we possibly can be. That means that we are about as separate as we expected that we were. And the constant fighting that exists between blue and red in this country is only going to continue until somebody has to do something to bring in a few more people from the other side, to get a few more people to consider something that they haven't considered before. And I'll tell you what, you look at the Latino vote, especially the Latino vote and the Cuban vote are not the same thing. But when you consider the Cuban vote in Southern Florida, I think Hillary Clinton won Miami-Dade County by 30 points or something like that. Joe Biden only got it by 7. That is an enormous, enormous sea change in how people look at the two parties. There are Latino voters across the country who supported Donald Trump. I was listening to Juan Williams talking about this before the show started, probably about 10:40 on Fox News. And Juan Williams was saying, I feel like the Democrats are going to have to look at this and say, why why are these Latinos voting for Donald Trump when he's had such a hard message on immigration? And he said, I think that a lot of Democrats are going to have to do, some introspective research on what they think about the electorate out there. And, the identity politics plan that has been in place for Democrats for some time now, is it going to be enough to win these? People were talking about blue waves. People were talking about the House of Representatives giving Nancy Pelosi some sizable expansion of her power in the House of Representatives, and it didn't happen. It looks as though the Republicans are going to retain the Senate. If it was possible, this election has made us an even more divided country than we were before, or it took the actual pulse of the country and has exposed it for what it is. Here's where I am heartened, and I am excited to see what happens next. The media got this so freaking wrong. The people showing their bare butts to the country right now, these folks in the media, these pollsters who were predicting, I go back to it. If Donald Trump would have gotten even a half fair shake, if Donald Trump would, the negative coverage towards him is like 94% or something like that. Imagine if it were only 80% negative. Imagine if they covered him fairly. Imagine if they took the time to sit down and walk through the Platinum Plan and see what this president has done with the First Step Act, and see what this president has done with Tim Scott on opportunity zones, and see what this president has done in Southern Florida to make sure that they understand in Southern Florida that the Cuban communism creep is never going to make it to the shores of the United States of America as long as Donald Trump is there and working hard. And the people of Florida are there living the American dream, which is not an American guarantee. That's what socialism would be. If you adopt socialism, if you adopt communism, you get a guarantee. And guess what? It's equal for everybody and it sucks for everybody. If this president were covered even remotely fairly, which would involve still lots of criticism, if he were covered fairly, where would we be today? We would not be this divided. Donald Trump is not the source of our division. The source of our division is an agenda-driven media with pollsters who are being paid by political parties to try to uncover, nooks and crannies among us. They don't even listen to us. They want to tell us about us, and they want to inform us of who we are, and we're supposed to sit there and just lap it up and listen to them. They blew it. America did not lose today, but the pollsters did. And if the media does not check themselves after this, if the media looks at a Joe Biden 270 potential electoral victory, or if Donald Trump ekes this out through the court system, it's going to be uglier than it has ever been before. And the Senate is going to be less Republican than it was before. The House is going to be less Democrat than it was before. Nothing is going to get done. It's going to be the biggest gridlock that Washington, D.C. has ever seen. The media is at the center of it because they are supposed to be our advocate, and they have been their advocate. I highly encourage you to consider some alternative news sources going forward, or watch very carefully to see how our mainstream ones adapt to what we have and what we know, because something is going to have to give. Basically, this is an everything is awful scenario, no matter who wins. And of course, I still hope President Trump wins. And of course, it's still possible that he does. But we are going to have to figure out how to fix this country, and we're going to have to do it ourselves because the media is destroying it from the inside out. And they're trying to do it with pretty lights on their faces and cameras shining at them and smiles on their faces. We're not supposed to know the truth. We're not supposed to know what's going on. They would rather, dish out these polls that tell us that there's going to be a Trump landslide, that there's going to be a blue wave, and everybody gets all worked up about it. Everybody gets emotionally charged about it. And then we find out that they lied. And then we're mad because we were lied to. And we should be. But we shouldn't be mad at each other. We should not be mad at people who think differently than we do, who are our neighbors, our family, and our friends. That is not the way we fix America. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Amy Ellick is going to join us. This is exciting to have Amy Ellick joining us on the show, an Illinois State House representative pickup, and we are going to have her on. She defeated Monica Bristow. We're going to have a quick conversation with her, and we're going to continue to get guests and experts on here. They are in high demand right now, so we are trying to fish them out of the sea as much as we possibly can for you. We are grateful that you're here. Any information that comes up, any breaking news that happens regarding the election, we will have it for you here. Stick with us. We'll be back in just a minute.
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. If you only heard half of what we just said, you can always rewind. By listening to 97.1 through radio.com, you can rewind anytime. For all of those, wait, what was that moments? The rewind feature lets you go back instantly, whether it's to rehear a point or listen to entire shows within 24 hours. And if you didn't catch everything I just said, feel free to rewind and listen to it again. 97.1 FM Talk, streaming at radio.com and the radio.com app.
Attention St. Louis homeowners. Are you looking to sell your house without all the stress? Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis can buy your house cash and close on your timeline. No commissions, no repairs, no appraisals, no showings, no headache. Call Chris now, 314-782-7000, or go online to chrisbuysHomesSTL.com to get a free no-obligation cash offer for your house. Behind on payments? The tenant stopped paying the rent? The house needs too many repairs? Not a problem. Chris buys houses in any condition and deals with any situation. There's a reason why Chris Buys Homes is the most trusted home buyer in St. Louis. Go online to get your offer today. chrisbuysHomesSTL.com or call 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000.
Menards has the flooring you need to give your home a fresh look. Check out our great selection of Shaw flooring. Add warmth to your living room with soft and luxurious carpet. Durable laminate flooring can be installed over most floors. Or choose waterproof vinyl planks that easily click together. Right now, all Shaw flooring is 11% off at Menards. Good through November 7th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
You're listening to The Brian Kilmeade Show from the CPAPSucks.com studios. Can't use your CPAP? Dr. Anna Smith provides more Prosomnus sleep appliances than any dentist in the U.S. She has over 95% success, including severe cases. Are you tired of feeling tired? Call Dr. Anna Smith, CPAPSucks.com.
Hey friends, it's Annie, and I've been in touch with the team here at Lakeside Renovation and Design. As an essential business, these guys continue to work and ensure their homeowners are being taken care of. They do all of this while practicing safe social distancing and following all of the proper guidelines to keep a safe work environment. Many people are concerned with inviting others into their home at this time, which is why they've begun virtual appointments. If you need new siding, new windows, or even decks, porches, or screened rooms, they can get measurements from the outside and put a bid together just for you while keeping themselves and your family safe. 636-978-5000, lakesidrenovationanddesign.com.
Goodwill wants to help you celebrate the holidays at Six Flags. Donate your car to Goodwill. You'll get a tax receipt and 4 free tickets to Six Flags Holiday in the Park, featuring thrilling rides, tasty treats, and exciting family entertainment for the holiday season. Support a good cause. Donating is easy and towing is free. For more information or to donate online, visit mersgoodwill.org. Use promo code Six Flags. Hurry while supplies last. Valid only for Holiday in the Park. Give hope. Give local. Give Goodwill.
The Annie Fry
I
Show.
have another New York Times reporter calling about my representation of the spy chief of China.
Jack Posobiec.
These are voice memos Hunter Biden made for himself.
Weekdays noon to 3 on 97.1 FM Talk.
I wanna see the world. I wanna sail the ocean.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Happy Wednesday, folks. Put a smile on your face. Lots to be excited about right now. We don't have the final results of the presidential election. I have no idea when we are going to have those. But if any news breaks here during the Annie Fry Show, we are going to go straight to it. So you are in the right place. Speaking of one of those reasons to put a smile on your face, we are now joined by Amy Ellick. Amy Ellick ran against Monica Bristow in District 111 for the Illinois State House. And she did it. She pulled it off. Amy, we are so happy for you. Congratulations to you. What was the day like?
Thank you so much, Annie, and thanks for having me on again. I appreciate your support throughout the last year of running this campaign. The evening last night was surreal. We had wonderful Republican gains in Madison County, so I'm just as excited, even more so maybe, for some of the other races that we won in Madison County, and it was very exciting and fun to have those results come in.
So talk to me a little bit about what some of the highlights is, because you're in District 111, but you're also, a resident, a voter. These local races mean a lot to you. A lot of folks were looking across the state or the Mississippi and looking into the state of Illinois, and that progressive income tax met its demise, which was a fantastic realization. Just tell us a little bit about what kind of progress Illinois made yesterday for the Illinois taxpayer.
Oh my goodness, so much progress. And I think it was really made possible by a concerted effort by people throughout the state, kind of those grassroots organizations that put out all kinds of information to make sure that people were educated on what the effects of that progressive tax would be. I'm not exactly surprised that it failed. I felt pretty strongly just from what I was hearing going door to door in my own campaign that people were not buying the progressive tax as a solution for Illinois. So I was actually not too surprised that one failed, just based on what I had been hearing. We've just leaps and bounds of success here in Southern Illinois yesterday and last night, and it's so exciting.
Amy, I think it's interesting to consider the progress that was made. There's so much room for improvement in the state of Illinois that to somebody who's on the outside looking in, they might not understand how. As far as I know, did we pick up 2 seats in the House? I think that's where we're at this point. I think there's still some votes being counted in some of the northern counties, so I don't have an exact idea of where those races are, but I'm understanding we picked up 2. Yes. So we're headed in the right direction. The progressive income tax has failed. What lies ahead for you as you're going to enter the Illinois House of Representatives? What kind of goals do you have set out for yourself, for the people of District 111, and for, trying to get some sanity back into this state?
Well, I think one main goal, and it's something we touched on throughout the campaign, was ethics reform in Illinois has to take place. We cannot allow 40 years of one-party rule to continue, and that party rule has led to corruption that has hurt us as a state, hurt our taxpayers, and that's something that's really, really important to me, is to just move forward with that. When those take place, that lifts everything else up and makes sure that processes on other laws and bills are fair. But my other priority is going to be just making sure that I provide excellent customer service to the constituents of the 111th. That is extremely important to me. And, I've said in the campaign, I've been a CPA for 25 years, and really that's a job that's about customer service. So, it's about helping people when they need help, when they're in a desperate situation, and maybe that, if there's a way that my office can help them, I want to be there and answer their call.
Well, I want to ask you before we let you go, we're speaking with Amy Ellick. She won the Illinois House District 111 seat, and she's flipping that red. And we're very excited for her. We've had you on many times over the past year. I've been talking with people who have been curious about what's going on in Illinois and some of the successes that we had. It's imperative that people understand that the fight has to just start now, and that we need to build on the success of your campaign and David Freese's campaign and other, Madison County has done a really good job of getting some fiscal sanity back into the region, but it can't stop now. This can't be it. You can't take the next 2 years off or 4 years off and expect any more continued progress to be made. as a citizen turned politician turned elected official, Amy, what's your advice to people who want to continue to see this progress grow here in the state of Illinois?
Well, my advice has always been to people that I talk to that have an interest in public service, local boards, please get involved. There are any number of boards. Of course, we know Illinois has lots of units of local government. So there's any number of boards that could use good conservatives. So if you are interested, start going to your local board meetings, your school board meeting, your library board, all of those different boards. Start going to those, get involved, and see where you can make a difference. Because honestly, that's what I did. I started getting involved in my township, and sooner or later, here I am now, an elected official for the state, and it's just get involved. But start in your own community is what I would tell people, and that's how we'll continue to identify quality conservative candidates for bigger roles as the years go by.
Amy, did you get a lot of help from just neighbors, folks who just frustrated taxpayers? Did you get a lot of help from average folks who decided this time, okay, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, my feet where the action needs to be to help make this possible for you?
I did, and it was both humbling and overwhelming, and I am so grateful I've said the kindness of strangers has lifted me up, because as you know, there was a ton of negativity throughout this campaign.
Yeah.
And every day I got calls, texts, emails from people. We want you to win. You're going to do great. It lifted me up. I can promise you the positivity far outweighed the negative for me. And it was because of the kindness of people that I knew and people I didn't know that just were invested in this race. And they, people that came out and said, I've never done anything like this. This is the first time I've helped. And it's been so amazing to see, and I just have so much hope for even better results in the future.
Yep, I'm so excited for you, Amy. So proud of you and your whole team. You've got so many people who were working so hard with you, and you led a great campaign. And I can't wait to have you back on the show so you can tell us about what's going on there in Springfield, and keep those folks honest down here in Southern Illinois. We are going to build on what you have started here. We're very proud of you, Amy. Thanks for coming on with us today.
Thank you so much, Annie. Appreciate it. Thanks.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Amy Ellick,
Bye-bye.
the newest Illinois State House representative, wearing a red shirt in Springfield, going to be representing the folks of the 111th district, and it's exciting to see that she has, because she did it right. She won that campaign the right way. She is an honest, good person. It is hard to watch honest, good people say, all right, I'm going to put myself in front of the constituents of this district, and I know that they're going to shoot arrows at me, but somebody needs to do it, and Amy did it, and she deserves everything good that's coming towards her. We do have some breaking news here. This is a Fox News alert, and it has come through just now, and of course I go to click it, open it, and then there we go. And it is a coming out of the Trump campaign. Breaking: Trump campaign says Trump will immediately request a recount in Wisconsin. Despite ridiculous public polling used as a voter suppression tactic, Wisconsin has been a razor-thin race, as we always knew that it would be, Bill Stepien, Trump 2020 campaign manager, says in a statement. There have been reports of irregularities in several Wisconsin counties, which raise serious doubts about the validity of the results. The president is well within the threshold to request a recount, and we will immediately do so. So the recount in Wisconsin is on. Don't think that that's necessarily surprising to anybody. Potential for that to happen in any other places that are going to have be within the margin. And, we will continue to soldier on. Also, Republicans win key Senate races, fight to keep majority from Dems, is also from Fox. Republicans retain key Senate seats Tuesday in critical states, setting up multiple roadblocks to Democrats' path to flip the Senate and dashing any hopes for a blue wave. GOP senators swatted down well-funded challenges in Texas, Iowa, South Carolina, Kansas, and Montana, Fox News projected. And with each win in these battlegrounds, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is one step closer to holding the GOP majority. When Mitch McConnell got called so early in the night, Kentucky always comes in very, very early, but Mitch McConnell when I consider how Mitch McConnell navigated the Senate in the Obama years, I know that it's what makes people hate Mitch McConnell, who don't like his policies and his processes. But Mitch McConnell's efforts, Mitch McConnell's leadership through the Senate seat. I mean, anybody who says that Merrick Garland, that was wrong, it's not wrong, because Obama got to nominate a Supreme Court justice, and the Senate gets to advise and consent. They had the majority and they did what they did. It is just absolutely bonkers laughable to think that the other party would not have done the same thing. In each of those scenarios, the thing that is under people's skin is that the Republicans under Mitch McConnell has started to play ball like the Democrats have, and we've lost less. I feel like maybe together collectively, it feels like we're losing more, but we've potentially lost less as Republicans, and we'll continue to see how this goes. The division will remain. We are going to be a super divided government, regardless of who's in the White House. We're going to take a quick break and resume with our normal programming here in just a minute. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show.
These days, more and more women are asking for fancy-shaped diamonds. Ovals, princess cuts, cushion cuts, ashers, marquise, heart-shaped, pear-shaped, emerald cuts. All very popular this year. And no one has more of these special shapes than Diamonds Direct. In fact, we've just increased our selection of these beautiful stones with sizes ranging from a half carat up to 10 carats. And while other jewelers will try to tell you these fancy shapes cost more, the fact is, as you'll learn at Diamonds Direct, fancy shaped diamonds should always cost up to 20% less than the same size round diamond. Plus, in many cases, a fancy-shaped diamond will have a larger face and appear bigger than a round diamond with the same carat weight. So, with a fancy-shaped diamond, you can get a bigger look for a lower price and have a diamond that stands out from the crowd. Come to Diamonds Direct and get the facts about fancy-shaped diamonds, see the largest selection, and get the guaranteed best price. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Get directions and store hours now at diamondsdirect.com.
You like your burger medium well, your peanut butter crunchy, and your mattress firm. It's the little things that make you, you. And you deserve a Medicare plan that fits your unique needs. That's why United Healthcare is offering more plan options than ever, so you can find just the right plan for you. Call 1-800-362-8715. That's 1-800-362-8715 to get Medicare with more. Remember, Medicare annual enrollment ends December 7th.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents and Doug.
Fasten your seatbelts, folks. We'll be preparing for takeoff.
Limu, how cool is this? Your first time flying. Oh, I didn't mean... Listen, Limu, you might not be able to fly, but you do something even cooler. You tell strangers that Liberty Mutual customizes their car insurance so they only pay for what they need.
Sir, do you have a certificate for your service bird?
Liberty, 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 liberty. Get a customized quote at libertymutual.com.
Another reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo. What is a cash out refinance? It's doing a cannonball from your porch.
Watch out!
That new car smell. A new college graduate in the family.
With a BA in business and a minor in medieval Renaissance poetry.
Reading the words, paid in full.
Woohoo! Did it!
At Golden Oak Lending, we speak mortgage and love translating it for our customers. Right now, rates are at a low 2.5%. Call 314-567-GOLD or visit us online at goldenoaklending.com and talk with an experienced local loan officer who will guide you every step of the way. NMLS 114937, 2.5% fixed, 2.655% APR on conventional 15-year mortgage with 30% equity and approved credit. 111 West Port Plaza, St. Louis, Missouri.
KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
He's trying to build back the Democrats' blue wall. Lisa Brady, Fox News. It's not clear yet whether Joe Biden is taking back key parts of the Midwest, including Wisconsin, where Fox's Jeff Manasso is live.
Lisa, in the latest update here in Wisconsin.
Yesterday's election was anything but an incredible success
that was a result of years of preparation and meticulously, carefully following the law.
Wisconsin Elections Commission Administrator Megan Wolf, though an unofficial vote count not yet announced, and where Joe Biden leads President Trump by less than 1%, recount territory. In Michigan, Biden also leads by a slim margin. We're told an unofficial total could be announced today. The Michigan Secretary of State also says that thousands of ballots are still outstanding. Lisa.
Thanks, Jeff. 6 states considered too close to call in Pennsylvania's count could take days to finish. Some 3 million people applied to vote by mail.
It takes time. It takes time to open those many ballots. As everybody knows, that's why we knew that it was going to take longer.
Philadelphia City Commissioner Lisa Deely pledging an accurate count. President Trump tweeting suggestions that more than one state is trying to make an advantage for him disappear, prompting his third warning label of the day from Twitter. He's also threatening legal action to challenge ballots arriving after Election Day. In Pennsylvania, they'll be counted if they arrive by Friday. In North Carolina, they have 9 extra days to get there. A federal judge says the U.S. Postmaster General will have to answer under oath why the Postal Service failed to meet a deadline yesterday afternoon to conduct sweeps ordered at a dozen processing plants around the country. The Postal Service says those sweeps turned up just 13 undelivered ballots in Pennsylvania. Big rally on Wall Street. The Dow up over 800 points a short time ago. It's still up over 700 right now, over 28K. America's listening to Fox News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly to mostly sunny skies, windy and warm on this Wednesday. This continues to look like the warmest day of the week, but we've got a great stretch of weather on the way. 75 for the high today, 82 the record. Tonight, partly cloudy, 49. Thursday, partly to mostly sunny, 72. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, keep it coming. Sunny, 70 to 75 degrees. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This is the fight.
This is our future.
This is not a political game.
This is not an emergency.
This is constitutional. This is a witch hunt.
This is far from over.
This is hell.
This is
an historic decision.
This is because of the 2020 election.
This is the new climate democracy.
This is the lie.
This is
getting downright so.
where St. Louis comes to talk.
This is where we live.
This is our city.
97.1 FM Talk.
This is our life.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it's a right fit for you. And check out the podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's digital editor, Megan Crane.
Our standards are the highest I've ever seen in the business, and I've been in this industry my entire life.
That's jewelry veteran Robert Violante at Diamonds Direct, talking about how only the best of the best diamonds make it to the Diamonds Direct showcases.
We start by selecting the very best rough. We cut it, polish it, and then take the top 15 to 20% and offer that to our clients.
That mind-to-showroom concept allows Diamonds Direct to offer superior quality for less.
One thing that always surprises clients is how much further their budget will go with Diamonds Direct. They may have been looking at a 1 carat somewhere else for what they were hoping to spend. Well, at Diamonds Direct, you could get a 1 1/4, sometimes a 1 1/2, and it's really amazing.
And then there's the after the sale commitment from Diamonds Direct, a promise to stand by that jewelry for life for free.
Once you become a Diamonds Direct client, you're our customer in our family forever. We take care of your ring for life for free. You never pay for any service. Anything you ever need done, we take care of free for life.
Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
What's holding you back from solving your tax problems? If it's cost, know that the longer you wait, the more expensive it'll be. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Tax resolution doesn't have to be expensive, and waiting year after year to resolve your tax problems can be extremely costly. Interest and penalties on your tax bill won't stop until you take control. So take the first step now and hire a tax resolution attorney to help you. Call me, Lance Drury. I'll tell you in advance an affordable fee which includes costs and expenses that works for your business and family. Your first visit to the Lance Drury Law Firm is free and confidential, so you have nothing to lose. But the longer you wait, the more interest and penalties you'll pay. Call me today. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an attorney. You need us, the Lance Drury Law Firm. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Are you looking for a haircut as we go through this week? You want to make sure you get the good haircut, the perfect haircut every time. Well, that's why you choose to get your haircut at Hair Saloon. They believe that men deserve better, and I believe that you deserve better too. So if you're looking for the place that you can make an appointment with, and I got to tell you, the wonderful people who they have working there, they've been working there for a very long time. You can count on them. When you go back to get your haircut again, you're going to get the same haircut and you're going to love it each and every time. There's a ton of Hair Saloon locations that you can check out online at hairsaloon.com. And when you choose Hair Saloon for Men, your experience is going to include that perfect haircut every time, a complimentary beverage, a relaxing shampoo, hot towel, and mint, and 25% discount on services all day, every day for veterans, active duty, and active duty military and first responders. If a haircut is in your future, reach out to Hair Saloon and get an appointment made now. They can also take walk-ups, so you can just drive up and see if they have an availability for you. They can take you in, and you'll be very glad you did. A Hair Saloon, the place that believes men that deserves better, online at hairsaloon.com.
97.1 FM Talk.
Sean Hannity, Dave Glover, Annie Fry, Brian Kilmeade, Mark Cox. That's the lineup backward. Reminding you that you can rewind anytime at 971talk.com. The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. It is the day after Election Day, and I believe that it is still Election Day. That's at least how it feels to me. What about you folks? We're grateful that you've chosen to spend some time with us. We do not have any brand new information to share with you, but we are going to take you to it at the moment that it happens. So we're going to watch and see how these results continue to come in, and it's very likely that we are going to be looking at court cases. Fox News has reported that the Trump campaign has officially requested a recount in Wisconsin, and I don't think that is something that surprises many people. So we're going to continue to watch and bring you straight to the news as it happens. I would like to open up the phone lines for folks. I want people to get what struck you, what is striking you about what's taken place in the last 24 hours, and give you a chance to speak here, because I'm sure that there are a lot of you who are itching to get the results just like I am. And even if those results aren't the ones that I wanted to have happen specifically, we're going to need to get to them as soon as we can truthfully and accurately do so, and we'll move on. So 314-241-9797 if you would like to join the show here and weigh in and lean in on what you find is important. If you think that there's a story out there that hasn't been covered as much, we would enjoy talking about that. Katie, you watched the election results come in last night with us on the live stream. Feeling 12:10 the next day, how are you feeling about what we've experienced, the state of Missouri, what they've done, the state of the presidential election? What's your vibe?
So I am so proud of Missouri. We knew that Trump was going to win the state. We are primarily red. So I was very excited and a little bit like, whew, whenever I found out that he won. I'm also very proud of Illinois. I know that it went to Biden, but locally, you guys flipped some seats. Amy Ellick on fire. So happy for him. I thought it was a banner. I think it's been a banner week for Illinois, and especially for the Illinois GOP, which is going to be exciting to talk to Tim Schneider a little bit later on in the hour. There are some states that I was really looking forward to see flip. Florida. I think all of us predicted that a little bit earlier yesterday. We all had that on our map that Florida was going to turn red. So happy for Trump. Michigan is one of those states that I'm holding my breath on because I would think from the auto industry, from manufacturing, from fracking, that it would go to Donald Trump. But the more that we look at this, right now I'm looking on foxnews.com and it says 96% of the ballots are in, and it's going a little bit towards Joe Biden, but I still have hope for Trump for that state. And I think that he could take it, especially because of all of the nonsense that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have been saying about manufacturing, that they've been saying about fracking. I just feel like the state should not trust their initiative and what they're going to be saying. So I'm a little bit anxious. I think we have an anxious road ahead for the next couple of days, but I'm happy to be here with you guys and experiencing this. Last night was my first time being involved in late night coverage like that, to that extent. And I'll tell you what, by the end of it, Annie, you said to Tony, because if nobody got to watch this, just a small recap. Tony we got
progressively less professional throughout the course of the night.
We sure did. And you know what? Rightfully so. Holy cow.
9 straight hours.
9 hours of broadcasting on top of the 3 that we did earlier that day.
Oh, yeah. My radio show.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then an extra hour today. So we've just had our hands full. But Tony Colombo was driving home yesterday at about 1 o'clock in the morning. He already had his umpteenth monster that is like 14 ounces.
It was peak Tony Colombo.
Yeah, peak Tony Colombo. He's like raging getting home. And you tell him, my heart dropped. You said, well, Tony, we're going to hang up with you because you're driving and it's scaring me a little bit. And then, you know what? Why don't you just call us back whenever you get home? And I'm like, call us back? What are you talking about? Call us back. And so he hangs up and you're like, okay, Katie, I can see it's time. I know it's time to go.
I said, Katie, go to bed.
It was time to go to bed. The bags under my eyes were taking over my face.
Yeah.
But it just proves, this is your wheelhouse. You and Tony are 2 of the biggest nerds I've ever met about politics. And it's hard to keep up, but I'm so happy that I got to be involved with it because along the way, since this is my first time doing late night coverage, covering an election night, I learned so much. And I was constantly asking questions that I hope a lot of other people were kind of sitting there scratching their head saying, how is this happening? Or why is this working this way? So, I mean, it was just exciting and really fun. I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yeah. Carl, you were doing college visits at the beginning of last night, and then you probably didn't miss anything.
I saw nothing.
We're still missing it. Whatever it is, it's escaping us. You had said to me off air multiple times you thought Trump was going to win. Then we filled out electoral maps just as predictions, and then you predicted in the Electoral College that Trump wouldn't win. But then I said to you today, what do you think? And you said, I still think he's going to win. I don't know if that's still the same now. You're hard thought to pin down here. What do you think going ahead?
It's not that. It's just, one, I'm bad at math. And 2, it's
aren't we all?
The way that the whole thing has been going with the Electoral College, right now, everything's still a toss-up. I was right about Arizona, unless I'm not right about Arizona. But it also seems it wasn't because of Mark Kelly that they went blue. If they went blue, it was because of marijuana that they went blue.
It's always the weed.
Mary Jane.
It's always the weed
and magic mushrooms. I think.
No, that was Oregon. Oregon like decriminalized
everything.
Heroin and cocaine.
Yeah.
Golly.
Unbelievable. Well, we've got some people on the line here. I want to get to these phone calls. If you want to join us, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you today. We are putting requests out. We've got, just real quick here, Tim Schneider, who is the chairman of the Illinois Republican Party, is going to talk to us at 12:40. DeRoy Murdoch at 1 o'clock. Tim Jones is going to give us a full-on Missouri update at 1:25. And we're trying to get a lot of people, but I think a lot of people are afraid to weigh in right now. I think that they're kind of hedging their bets, and B, a lot of people are asking for experts. So we are hustling and bustling, and we're bringing everything we can to you. But I'm as happy to hear from you as from anybody else today. So let's go to Tim on line 3, holding right now. Tim, what do you think? How are you feeling? This is kind of a trepidatious time, but what's your vibe, Tim? Thanks for giving us a call.
Hey, Annie. I voted for Trump. I thought he was actually going to lose in a landslide. It was much closer than I expected. But what a lot of people didn't really pay attention to last night is, even though the presidential race is so important, if Joe Biden does end up winning at this point, I think he'll squeak one out narrowly. But if he does end up winning, his likelihood of having a Democrat-controlled Senate is so minute right now. I mean, you had Joni Ernst coming in. You have Tom Tillis likely winning his race later today. Susan Collins looks really good in Maine, even though I don't really like her.
Yeah.
But you get to that 50-50 with Alaska coming in, and then you got potentially 2 Georgia runoffs where I don't know where that's going to go. But you flip one of those or you keep one of those, and Joe Biden's agenda does not get through in the first 2 years. And 2022 becomes so much friendlier for Republicans in the Senate territory. Joe Biden, at his age, I doubt he runs for a second term, but really, what is he going to get done?
Yeah. I think it's great points and a very positive outlook that you give there. And I think it's a good assessment. Thank you so much for calling the show. The Senate is so huge. It is so huge. Nobody asked me, but if I could have Donald Trump eke out a victory here and have the Senate go into Chuck Schumer's hands, that is a nightmare scenario. All this court packing stuff, take a hike with that nonsense. And when you consider what we could do in 2 years, if Biden does win, what we could do building on the massive youth and diversity that the Republicans have elected this go around. The Democrats have no mandate here. The Republicans have no mandate. Basically, we've all determined as an electorate, y'all suck. And we're all mad at each other. So there's going to be a lot of introspection that's going to happen, and we'll see which party is willing to do that. The Republican Party has been doing it. We are broadening our base that's becoming more and more diverse, and it's going to make us stronger going forward. Carl, why don't you just pick another phone call? Whoever you think is the best call.
We want Matt.
Matt, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show.
Hey, Annie. I woke up at like 2:30, checked everything, and thought, what the heck is going on? And then woke up today feeling like I had been roofied and, didn't have any answers of what's going on. But I wanted to go back to the comment made about the Sharpie. So I was involved in an election. We had to do a recount out here in St. Charles County. And those ballots are going to fall under what's called an undervote. So if they don't register, the ballot is going to register, but the votes won't. So it'll fall into an undervote. And those are the ballots that are the best ones to be inspected and challenged. So I would assume if one county is doing it, it's going to be pretty overwhelmingly obvious that there's a huge undervote of votes that weren't counted because of the markings. And I think Trump's going to have a good opportunity to go in there and look at those ballots. And, I think it's a good challenge. And it's really scary how our system isn't, universal across in a federal, election like this, because everything is on the line. And maybe it's always been on the line, but it just seems like in this day and age with the progressive movement and, what the squad is saying, that it's a very scary time for people, and especially people that have children. and, trying to educate them and prepare them for the future that we have no idea if it ever goes blue, what will happen.
Matt, thank you for the phone call. And you make a lot of really good points. And I am reading a ton of stuff on Twitter, and Twitter is chatter, but the chatter often comes to fruition in some form of what the chatter is. You just don't really know where it's going to land yet. And there's still people looking at Arizona. So who knows? Let's go to Justin next here before we take a break. Justin, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show.
Yes, Annie, I was calling to find out, I think one of the previous callers had mentioned about if we can hold the Senate, maybe we can try and keep this socialist, semi-socialist wave occurring. But if we do not keep the Senate, what can we do over those 2 years to keep it at bay as much as possible?
If Joe Biden has the presidency and if the Democrats, the Republicans have put the Democrats in a position, if they were to take the Senate, to do whatever whatever those Democrats, they are going to be, unfettered and unhindered in the power grab that they're going to pull. Especially, I would think that, in 4 years from now, Joe Biden is not going to run for re-election. There's no way that Joe Biden runs for re-election. It's probably an opportunity to prop Kamala up, but we'll see how she, fares over the course of the next 4 years, if in fact they are put in the presidency. But, I think that the best thing to do is to make the case immediately, the stark contrast between what socialism has to offer this country and what the American way has, because that message won the night. That's where we built our added Republicans in the House against the squad. They speak largely for the House Democrats. And we didn't take any punches in the Senate. So, this is a Trump thing, just as we've always said. What's happening right now is about Donald Trump and Donald Trump alone. And we're gonna have to watch and see. But if the Democrats get all three parts of government here, it's going to be hold on real tight. And I hate to say that, but I'm not going to lie to you, Justin. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. I don't know if he'll keep listening to the show after that bad news.
Yes, he will. You're here for him.
Carl, do you disagree with me though?
I do.
Chuck Schumer, if he gets even a wink of a majority, if Kamala Harris is the tiebreaker and he's in there and he's in charge, there is no deference anymore. There is no bipartisanship that's going to happen in the Senate. They are going to do, especially for the things that can happen just in the Senate. Mm-hmm. They're going to do everything they can there because for having 435 members in the House of Representatives, they're pretty much split down the middle for all intents and purposes. I wish we could take the gavel away from Nancy. Someone steal it.
Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of people in the Democratic Party that wish they could take the gavel away from Nancy too. So you are not alone.
Yeah. Although she's the smartest bet because she's not going to lose. There's nothing she's going to do to lose her seat. Obviously, it's like she's daring them. Quick break. When we come back, I guess we can get to some more phone calls here. Katie, did we book another guest or not yet? No, we didn't
not
have
yet.
That.
Working on it.
I'm reading messages in 3 different places while I'm talking. What have I said anything that makes any sense yet?
Yes, you have.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Is it daytime? What year is it? What? Yeah. Is it still 2020? It feels like it. It feels like a 2020 kind of day. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Down in the city that we love, great clouds all over the hills, bringing darkness from above. But if you close your eyes,
find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Are you looking for a dentist? If you have a need for a teeth cleaning, just a general teeth cleaning, because, when COVID hit and everything shut down, all of our schedules got out of whack. It's a good time to consider going to a new dentist. If you have avoided going and seeing the one that you've had before because you don't enjoy it, there's nothing about it that makes you look forward to it all, I want to give you an alternative. My dentist at Foley Dental Group. There are so many reasons why I champion what they do. I've been going to see them for over a year, and they're the dentist for my family, from my husband down to my 4-year-old daughter. They work overtime to make sure that you're comfortable, and they give you the best dental care around, which is obviously the most important thing. But they have an awesome staff that is fun, that is going to be excited to meet you and to learn about you and your oral health and your overall health together. They are accepting new patients. Mention the Annie Fry Show if you don't mind when you reach out to them. General dentistry, teeth whitening, fillings, dental implants, fast dental care, and great dental care. If you're looking for a dentist, check out Foley Dental Group in Maryville, 618-288-9670, online at foleydentalgroup.com.
Hey guys, Glover here. If you are nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the DGS.
Hey, Tony Colombo here to tell you about an upcoming fossil rock and mineral show with a biblical perspective. The account in the Bible says there was a worldwide flood about 4,300 years ago, but does the fossil record support this event as a historical fact? Do you have a lot of questions about this topic like I do? Well, Agape Historical Answers will be hosting a fossil rock and mineral show that delivers strong support for the worldwide flood described in the Bible. Come out and see thousands of fossils, rocks, and minerals with a 30-minute presentation given multiple times throughout the day. The show is this Saturday, November 7th from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Pillar Foundation in Ellisville. Call Bill Barnes at 314-608-2928 for more information. This event is free, and there will be free fossils and rocks for all attendees to take home. Families and skeptics welcome. That's this Saturday, November 7th at the Pillar Foundation in Ellisville. Call Bill Barnes at 314-608-2928, 314-608-2928 for more information.
If you are looking for a home warranty, please check out my friends at Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. You know, that maintenance part of their title is extremely important. Most home warranty companies out there want to deny your claim due to lack of maintenance. They claim you haven't been taking care of your equipment over time, so they don't have to help you out. Well, at Upkeep, they completely eliminate that worry by sending their own technicians out to your home 4 times a year to do the general maintenance for you. And if you ever need service done, they will either repair or replace your equipment, and that work is also being done by an Upkeep employee. It's not a third-party contractor trying to upsell you. Their plans are extremely affordable. You can even divide your payments up over the 12 months of the year. And when you use code DGS, you get $100 off your service. To check out all of their different home warranty plans, go to their website, upkeepstl.com. That's upkeepstl.com.
97.1 FM Talk. In the marketplace of ideas, the best come out on top. St. Louis's own 97.1 FM Talk. The place for ideas.
Hey, pretty mama, I can smell the gumbo. Sweetest taste of honeysuckle on my lips. Good God Almighty, I can hear the trombone. Every heart ought to beat to a rhythm like this.
Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show.
As a Sunday morning, standing on the corner at Carondelet. What you say we make our way up to Bourbon, couple hurricanes and a hand grenade and get blown away and let the chips fall where they may.
Welcome back to The Annie Fry Show. How y'all doing? How are we feeling? I know how you're feeling. You know how I know? 'Cause I
Tired.
I feel that way too. You and me.
Tired.
We are in this together, for better or for worse. I was taking some phone calls here in the previous segment, and I want to continue to do that. And interested to hear any bright spots that you want to highlight. Missouri had so many good victories yesterday. We're going to speak with Tim Jones about that at 1:25. So in about an hour from now, we'll get the lowdown from him about some of those victories that Missouri is celebrating. And Illinois had some as well. And I'm just curious, what are you paying attention to? Obviously, we're all watching as we wait for, all of a sudden the Electoral College number is just going to change and somebody's going to be the president. I think that it's very likely that this is going to take a very long time. And there might be a call that is made, but any call that is made, if it goes to your candidate's favor or against your candidate, there are going to be lawsuits and legal challenges. And, I don't obviously have a crystal ball, don't know how that's going to end up. But as we are watching all of this, we're just going to have to push through this together. And you're in the right spot for information as it lands here. Mitch McConnell spoke today earlier.
We'll see what the American people decide they want their government to be. I don't know whether I'm going to be the majority leader or the minority leader. As I've told you, I've been both. Majority is better.
Mitch McConnell is so funny because he looks
like a turtle.
Well, I mean, I wasn't going to say that, but he does. He looks like he should be past his prime. He is not. He is such a thug. And I would, when Chuck Schumer starts talking, I always think of him. He reminds me of Count Dracula, kind of just the way he presents himself. And Mitch McConnell reminds me of a turtle. So it's what I put in my head to get through the day. He's 78 years old.
Wow.
Does Mitch McConnell seem so much more in command of himself than Joe Biden, the guy who's potentially going to become the president of the United States?
I think that's why Trump and Mitch McConnell work together so well. I mean, there's a plethora of other reasons why, but they both have the stamina and they both have high pressure jobs that are very, very important jobs, and they can keep up with one another. Whereas Joe Biden is always falling behind.
Joe Biden. By the way, I need to talk about how I say the word Joe Biden, or how we all say the word Joe Biden. It's one word, Joe Biden. It's like there's never a pause. And I was kind of self-critiquing and thinking I needed to say it differently, but then I listened to everybody else, and everybody else says Joe Biden. It's just like it just comes right out of your mouth. The Senate in the hands of Mitch McConnell gives me lots of comfort to put my head on my pillow at night. That the Republic will continue if we can keep it, and I think that Mitch McConnell is a good protector of that. And I don't think, Joe Biden is not going to have a mandate to be able to take his party in a drastic direction. Socialism did not play in this election. Socialism was not an asset to have on your resume or on your policy plan. And so he's going to get yanked as hard as he can by the squad, by the progressive left. He's going to get yanked in a million directions because honestly, folks, I don't think that he is his own person when it comes to his campaign and his potential presidency. He is going to have to serve a lot of masters. And how does that work? How does that work when, you're not looking to run for re-election? That's what he said. I'm just using his words. He's the one who spoke up about it. And remember, Kamala Harris dropped out before anybody voted in Iowa because her poll numbers sucked so much. And she certainly hasn't, in my opinion, done anything to elevate. I don't know. Maybe that's not true. Maybe she, especially when every vote is going to be so essential. Maybe she elevated that ticket from where it was, but I just can't imagine that there weren't other people out there who could have elevated it more. But, whatever. We got some calls right now. Carl, if you folks want to give us a call and weigh in, 314-241-9797. Gonna rely on you folks to chime in here and tell me how you're feeling throughout the course of the day. Let's get to Marie is on line one. Marie, thank you for calling the show. Good to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Annie. I appreciate it. I would just like to say that I am a Texan. Go Reds for Donald Trump, which, that was no doubt that was going to take place. But I'm also a 30-year Democrat that turned Republican for this election, especially to vote for Donald Trump, because I just believe that this election was more essential than any other I've ever participated in before. And I didn't really want it to be about race or class or parties. I just wanted it to be about what was most important at this time for America. And I'm confused at how a person can send in a mail-in ballot and it not get there by election day. I would think that if you're going to mail in a ballot, it should be where it needs to be by election day. And anything that comes in after election day, I don't understand why that's being counted. That's my first confusion here. So I'm not understanding why they're counting ballots that are going to come in after Election Day. To me, that just seems fraudulent. To me, that seems fraudulent. And I'm looking for where all of the new base that Donald Trump picked up. He picked up a lot of new Hispanic voters. Yeah. He did pick up some Democrats who turned Republican. He picked up a great amount of African American male voters, and he picked those up everywhere. And so what we woke up to this morning is absolutely nothing like what we went to sleep on. And I just believe that somehow they're trying to steal the election from him. These numbers are ridiculous.
Marie, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate it. Love to hear about your experience as a first-time Trump voter. Thank you for calling in the show. And, we all have these fears. I had these fears that there would be shenanigans, some funny business before the election ever happened. I mean, if you're paying attention, if you're from Illinois, you just expect there to be some sort of shenaniganery that's going to take place, and it makes you worried. And I mean, in Chicago, seriously, the corruption is so ridiculous in this state that you just expect it to happen. Like when the progressive tax was not passing, I'm like, well, just wait. There's a trailer of ballots somewhere, and this is not going to, this is not going to go the way I want it to go. So I'm not even going to get excited. And I kept looking at it, I kept checking it, and the no percentage kept going up and up. And I was like, what's happening here? You've got to be kidding me with this. We're going to speak with Adam Schuster about it at 2:00. I can't wait to hear what he thinks about this, but also the question that is on all of your minds now: what do they do? Because there's always a plan B or C or F. I don't know what plan we're on right now. It really feels in the state of Illinois like it's a plan F, if you know what I mean. We've got other phone calls here. Let's go to Carol. Carol is holding on line 3. Thanks for giving us a call, Carol. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you. I'm just kind of curious as to, do you actually think that Joe Biden, if he manages to get elected, will be president, or won't it be Kamala, or in the end, Nancy Pelosi?
Carol, thank you for the phone call. I don't believe that Joe Biden is a leader. I think he's a politician. I think he's a good politician. I think he's such a good politician that even when he's on his not A game, B game, or C game, he still was to American voters nice enough to get elected. And again, this goes back to Donald Trump. Nice enough compared to what? Oh, Trump. And if you don't love what Trump is doing for the country, folks, what they hate about him, what they hate about Donald Trump is his conservative policies and his unabashed support and dedication to them. And he's willing to fight on any turf, any place, anytime, go to toe to toe with you in his policies. But if you want to rumble where the bully is used to, being able to punch you in the nose and control the playground, Donald Trump comes and punches him back. And they didn't know what to do with themselves. So much so that it was a joke when he first ran. When Trump started running in 2015, they were laughing about it. They're like, oh, this is great. Let's push Trump out there. And then he ended up winning the primary, and it shocked all of us. Joe Biden is probably a nice man. I don't know. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. I don't. I mean, I don't care if Trump is a nice man. I think that Trump is a generous person. I think he is a good person, and I think he has a kind heart, but I think he's also a killer. And I would prefer, I have so many people asking me about, how can you be a Christian and vote for Trump? And I'm like, wow, if my doctor doesn't believe, theologically, all of the same things that I believe, am I like, you cannot operate on me. I don't want the best Lutheran operating on me. I want the best, whatever the heck you are, as a doctor operating on me. It's the same thing for the presidency. Joe Biden, to me, is a nice guy who was default enough to win the presidency. I got to be honest, folks. I have no idea what he's going to do. I'm kind of afraid neither does he. I legit am. And Kamala Harris is not going to get too far on the surface, on the outside, being the person who is running this. How much will she be moving and maneuvering in the back end? Let me ask you this question. How much do you see Mike Pence moving around Donald Trump? Not a whole lot. Mike Pence doesn't have a huge prominent position. You know, he does his vice presidential duties. He takes care of things. He led the coronavirus task force. But Donald Trump is such a forceful figure. If Mike Pence wanted to, there's no room to do it. There's not enough oxygen in the room for the both of them. I don't know how this is going to go, but I think there are going to be a lot of people who expect to have their hand out. And I think that I really do believe, go back to the day when everybody dropped out of the race at once. Then they all descended on Texas and they all patted Joe Biden on the back and they all said, we're behind Joe. And we all went, why? What? What's happening here? This doesn't make any sense. Beto, Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, Amy Klobuchar, they all corralled around Joe. Why? What'd they get for it? If he gets elected president, I think we'll probably quickly see. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to speak with Tim Schneider. He's the chairman of the Illinois Republican Party. And there are some very interesting things that happened in the state of Illinois yesterday in the courts and with the progressive income tax, and working on flipping some seats and gaining some, chipping away at that majority, that super majority that Mike Madigan has in the House. Tim Schneider will break that down for us when we come back. And you're going to want to stick around because at 1:25, we're going to speak about with Tim Jones about all of the goodies. You guys get all the goodies in Missouri. Stop shaking your head so emphatically, Carl.
Yay, Mo.
I can feel you're just gleaming red rays of sunshine over there. Liberty-loving Missourians.
STL.
Woo, woo, woo. We got some things to be proud of in Illinois, and we're going to talk about that when we come back. Stick around.
Come a little closer, honey, let me hold you. Nothing tastes better than a bourbon kiss. You could be the flower on my magnolia. Every heart ought to beat to a rhythm like this.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Like this.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show.
I'll be dead to man if you'll be my queen. And we'll get away with everything. The prettiest girl I ever seen.
Pretty Beck and Jay Lennox at Beck and Lennox Estate Planning and Elder Law, the go-to folks when you need to get that estate planning done. Have you done it? Have you looked at your estate planning in the last 3 years? Has it been a while since you've checked it out? What is the plan? What's going to happen? I know that we have had a little extra time on our hands potentially throughout the course of the year, but these are the types of things that we need to be thinking about. We need to be preparing for, because if you take care of it now, when the status in your situation isn't as high tense as it possibly could be, when you're talking about powers of attorney and you're talking about wills and living wills and last testaments, you want to get this stuff done with experts who know the law, experts who are going to be able to maneuver each and every nuance of your situation, working with in-laws, working with outlaws, and making sure that your estate plan is put together exactly to your liking. It's Rudy Beck and Jay Lennox at Beck and Lennox Estate Planning and Elder Law. And you can get a free consultation by mentioning the Annie Fry Show when you call 636-946-7899. That's 636-946-7899, online at beckelderlaw.com.
Every day, Ameren works to deliver reliable energy throughout the region to on-the-go families, new parents, in-the-know grandparents, busy students, night owls, weekend warriors, and more. But did you know we also have options to help manage and track your energy, like paperless billing, outage notifications, pick a due date, and so much more. So no matter who you are or how you use your energy, there's an option that's right for you. Learn more at ameren.com/options.
There's a big red barn where you save green. Norm's Bargain Barn. Discount windows, doors, and things. Norm's Bargain Barn.
Hi, I'm Norm Wilkie. Come see my new selection of Amish cabinetry made by my good Amish friends at Country Wood Products. We now stock 5 styles of cabinetry for you to choose from.
When you need to save on discount windows, doors, and cabinetry, come to Norm's Bargain Barn, with locations in Shiloh and Fenton at the bottom of Gravois Bluffs. Visit normsbargainbarn.com.
That's normsbargainbarn.com.
Has this ever happened to you? I bought football tickets for my husband's birthday, and now I'm in a football bubble. All I see online are articles and ads about football. I hate the feeling of being manipulated. I downloaded DuckDuckGo, and I saw a difference right away. With one download, you can search and browse privately, avoiding trackers, all for free. It's that simple. Take back your privacy online with DuckDuckGo. privacy simplified.
The Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health understands how difficult it is to maintain healthy skin and how much this can affect someone's life. With the right combination of treatments and products, they can help you keep your skin looking healthy and more youthful, while also reducing and preventing damage. Take your first step towards healthy skin at the Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health. Visit them at inhstl.com or call to schedule at 314-293-8123. That's 314-293-8123.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Furnace tune-ups are recommended each year to keep your heating system running efficiently and extend its life. Schedule your furnace tune-up and safety inspection and get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
You can ask your smart speaker to play 97.1 FM Talk for information with perspective. Although you don't have to say all the tagline stuff. Just say, play 97.1 FM Talk. Powered by Dell Technologies. Call 877-ASK-DELL. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. It is the day after Election Day, and we're all still here. We all woke up, and we woke up in the greatest country on the planet. Isn't it a good day? Because it is. There are lots of things to be celebrating. Real quick before we get to our guest, a new update out of Maine. Fox News says, breaking, Senator Collins' challenger concedes race. From Fox News, Andrew Phone. Senator Susan Collins of Maine addressed the media Wednesday afternoon with the latest polls showing her with a comfortable lead over her opponent, Sarah Gideon. With 93% of the vote counted, it appears that It appears that the incumbent senator will avoid a ranked choice voting runoff and retain her seat. The Fox News decision desk can now project that Republican Senator Susan Collins of Maine will win re-election by defeating Democratic challenger Sarah Gideon. So that is in. That puts the Republicans at 48 seats with a couple other ones out there, few other out there to be determined, and we will follow up with that in a minute. I want to get to our guest now, joined now by the chairman of the Illinois Republican Party, Tim Schneider. Tim, thank you for coming on the show today. I'm just curious, while we are all watching on a national scale at the edge of our seats, the state of Illinois has a few things to be very proud of, and went in a way that I wasn't so sure was going to happen. Tim, I'm going to give you the floor. You talk to us as the chairman of the Illinois Republican Party. What are you proud of today?
Well, first of all, I'm proud that Susan Collins won her Senate seat in Maine, and we retained that. And I'm just biting my nails for our great president here and trying to crunch the numbers and see how we can get him over the finish line. He did better here in Illinois than he did 4 years ago. But the things that we're most proud of, we had a banner day yesterday here in the state of Illinois. We defeated Governor Pritzker's progressive tax. We
so happy
for
about
the first time. For the first time in Illinois history, we won a non-retention race for a Supreme Court justice in the Thomas Kilbride race. So that was historic. And now, if we can turn the district to Republican in 2 years, we can actually get things like term limits and fair maps and pension reform. Real reforms for the people of Illinois that Thomas Kilbride has blocked for decades. He was Mike Madigan's handpicked Supreme Court justice, put millions of dollars into his campaign, promised he wouldn't spend any money on the Judge Kilbride said he would not take any money from Madigan, but at the last minute took $550,000 from Mike Madigan. I think that probably hurt him more than it helped him. And we were able to be successful in his non-retention campaign. And then a couple of weeks ago, it was really getting dicey in the David Overstreet, Judy Cates race in Southern Illinois in the 5th Judicial District, the Judge Carmeyer seat that was vacated when Judge Carmeyer retired. So I did a tour and press conferences with Congressman Bost and Congressman Shimkus down in Southern Illinois for David Overstreet, and we won that race as well yesterday. So we did extremely well. And one other thing we did, Annie, is with all the millions, I don't know about in your neck of the woods, but up here, there was millions upon millions of dollars spent by Speaker Madigan to win House seats. In the district that I live in, we had a great candidate, Seth Lewis, that was running against the incumbent, Diane Pappas. He spent $2.4 million against Seth Lewis, and Seth Lewis won last night. So we netted 2 House seats that we didn't expect to with all the money that was spent. So Republicans can hold their heads up high. We had a banner day yesterday. It was a terrific day for all Illinoisans and in particular Republicans.
I want to dig in a little bit deeper here because this can't be understated. We're speaking with Tim Schneider, the Illinois GOP chairman. I get, of all the questions that I get about elections and races, people asking about judges, retention, people don't understand the process. People don't really, they invest the time into figuring out what they're supposed to do, what circle they're supposed to fill in or not fill in, but they don't really understand the process. And you were explaining it there a little bit, and it's really exciting to hear when you say that we won a non-retention race, and then you start saying that this can parlay itself into things like term limits. I mean, the people all over the state of Illinois should just go, wait, what? Say that again and explain that as clearly as you possibly can so that they can explain it to their friends. Dive into a little bit deeper and explain to me what that non-retention means and how that can benefit us down the road to getting our state back to some fiscal sanity and political sanity.
Sure. Well, when a judge is elected for the first time, he has to win a majority of the voters in that particular judicial district. But after that, all he has to do is win a 60% retention to win re-election. And if you don't vote, that's a vote for the retention of that judge. And many people don't vote on the judges on the ballot. So most often, judges are retained in counties and in appellate courts and in this case, in the Supreme Court. This is unprecedented that we were able to keep his vote under, I believe it was under 55%, maybe even less for Justice Kilbride on his retention, in which he needed 60% to be retained. So now that seat, Annie, will remain vacant. So the Illinois Supreme Court will be at 3-3 for the next 2 years unless the judges can agree on an individual to replace Justice Kilbride. Unfortunately, or fortunately for us, there are 3 Republicans and 3 Democrats, so it's unlikely, in my opinion, that there will be anybody there to, I believe it'll remain the way it is until we have an election in 2022. And that's a Trump district. And I believe that a good Republican candidate in that race will do extremely well. So we're excited about that opportunity, and we're excited that David Overstreet was able to beat Judy Cates in Southern Illinois so that we could keep that balance at 3-3. I do want to mention also one of our big highlights was Rodney Davis.
Yes.
Winning his race in the 13th. Rodney,
he's mine. Yeah.
They've come up against Rodney several times, and he had a resounding victory yesterday. So hopefully they won't continue to go after him because he's a terrific congressman. He's a friend, and he represents us well in Washington. And a shout out to David Freese in your neck of the woods and Amy Ellick, who won their races yesterday. Woo woo! Thank you for all your hard work, and you're great people. And I'm looking forward to seeing how well you do in the legislature here in Illinois.
Yeah, we are so excited to be sending some red seats up there as opposed to the blue seats. I want to ask you real quick, only got about a minute or so, but the progressive income tax fails. We had people in Chicago and I suppose Springfield threatening us with massive tax hikes if they didn't get what they want, like petulant children. What is the next shoe to drop here from the Democratic leadership in this state since they didn't get the progressive income tax that they wanted so deeply?
Well, they have 2 choices. They can either raise taxes on everybody in the state of Illinois, or they can do what they need to do, and that's tighten their belts like we all do during a recession and when things are tight. We need to cut expenses, shrink the size of the state government, and live within our means for a change. Now, if they want to come out and raise taxes on the people of Illinois, let them go ahead and try, because in 2022, there's going to be a resounding victory for Republicans. So if they want to do that, they can go right ahead and try. And I think Governor Pritzker, with his shutdowns and the coronavirus, I think those things are going to hurt him deeply in 2022. His arbitrary way of closing bars and restaurants, and the fact that he didn't win this progressive tax, which would have allowed him to spend willy-nilly anywhere he wanted to, drive businesses, drive people out of Illinois, and make the rest of us pay more. I think we have, dealt a death knell to a part of his reelection chances in 2022 by defeating that progressive income tax.
Got about 10 seconds, but are you confident you're going to have a strong challenger to J.B. Pritzker for the Republican Party in 2022?
I think we already have a number of people that are very, very interested, and they're all high caliber people. So we're going to have wonderful people. It's just going to be depending on which great candidate to choose from.
Well, that's what we want to hear. We want to have a plan, and it sounds like you've got it. Tim Schneider, the Illinois GOP chairman, well done yesterday. We've still got a lot of work to do, but we're pointed and heading in the correct direction. Great to have you on the show with us, Tim. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Annie.
Bye-bye. Amy Ellick was on with us at about 11:40. We started broadcasting an hour earlier because, hey, why not? And we are going to talk with Adam Schuster at 2:00 about the progressive income tax and maybe what it does mean for the state of Illinois. In the absence of Pritzker getting his fair tax through, what's going to happen next? Spending reform? Ha ha ha. Probably not. Probably not. We're going to have to change some more legislators before that's going to happen. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Jory Murdoch is going to join us. And boy, things are crazy. I have word that Rudy Giuliani is en route to Philadelphia. Stick around. We'll have all the latest when we come back.
Hear the sound of your voice. Hello, everybody. This is Sean Rimmerman, your host of We're Having a Senior Moment, every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 97.1 FM Talk. Are you concerned about a loved one, someone who's not always as safe, as secure, and as independent as possible in whatever setting they call home? Give us a call at 314-965-9600. We'll be happy to help you and them to live their best lives possible. Remember, 314-965-9600.
Retirement Advisory Group and Thomas Helbig, the go-to source for making sure that your retirement is going to be worry-free. That just sounds lovely. I think that is what retirement just sounds like it's supposed to be to me. Worry-free, you've worked your tail off, you've saved your butt off, and now you get to go and enjoy the time after you end your career. Well, you want to make sure that it's going to be there as you expect it to be. And that's what Thomas Helbig does. He is a kind person. He works hard with being, there for you and walking you through when you have done everything that you can. When you get to the end of your working time, you are going to need somebody who can coach you, who's going to be able to give you the information you need to protect what you have, to be able to participate in the gains and to not have to participate in the losses. You need to call 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494, or visit Thomas online at retirementkey.com.
Drafty, neglected, depressing. If this describes your home's doors and windows, you're in luck. Right now, Mosby Building Arts is offering 10% off all doors and windows, or no payments, no interest for 12 months. With Mosby, you'll soon be enjoying an energy-efficient home that can only be described as perfect. Call Mosby at 314-909-1800 or visit callmosby.com before December 15th to take advantage of these savings. Mosby Building Arts. Home never felt so good.
Hello, everybody. This is Sean Rimmerman. I'm your host of We're Having a Senior Moment every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 97.1 FM Talk. Our guest this week is Amy New of West County Psychological Associates. She's going to help us understand what's going to happen as we get into these times of darkness, as well as winter isolation, and how we can help each other. So tune in this Saturday morning at 7 a.m. and let us help you live your best life possible.
If you've listened to 97.1 FM Talk, you have heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple on the station as the financial expert for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend on 97.1 FM Talk, and in case you miss any of those shows, on his podcast on radio.com. That's radio.com, and search Safe Money 97.1. So call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DH Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
A concession in a closely watched Senate race. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. Republican Susan Collins of Maine claiming victory moments ago as her Democratic challenger Sarah Gideon concedes. And the Fox News decision desk just officially calling that Senate race for Collins, noting that it significantly improves Republican chances of keeping control of the Senate. That race not as close in the end as some expected. Collins ahead by more than 8 points.
I am the first person since Maine directly elected its senators to win a 5th term.
She's been known for opposing President Trump at times, but standing alongside Republicans for some crucial votes, including the confirmation of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. She opposed last month's vote on Justice Amy Coney Barrett, though, coming so close to the election. President Trump is skeptical about some of the votes being counted as a half dozen states remain too close to call in the presidential race. Fox's John Decker is live in Washington.
President Trump plans to request a formal recount in the state of Wisconsin, according to the president's campaign manager, who claimed without evidence so-called irregularities in several Wisconsin counties. Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden is currently leading the president by more than 20,000 votes. The state which the president carried in 2016 is considered a must-win for both candidates. The president earlier getting flagged again by Twitter over a tweet and retweet that appeared to question updated vote totals in several battleground states. Lisa?
And John, the Trump campaign now says it has filed a lawsuit in Michigan aimed at halting the counting of ballots. The Fox News decision desk, meantime, now projects the president will defeat Biden in the 2nd Congressional District of Maine, one of 2 states that doesn't award delegates on a winner-take-all basis, so he gets another electoral college vote there. America's listening to Fox News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No. Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly to mostly sunny skies, a little windy. 75 for the high today. 82 the record from back in 1978. Tonight, partly cloudy. 49 degrees, partly to mostly sunny for Thursday afternoon. 72. Weather continues to be nice. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, sunshine 70 to 75 degrees. Rain coming in late on Monday. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, this is Lance Drury. If you have payroll tax problems, you have serious legal problems, you need an attorney. Call 314-260-6120 or toll free 888-367-6512 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
Yeah, it's one of those mornings. It's wet outside. It's cold. It gives you just a little taste of what's coming over the course of the winter. Ice and snow and rain and sun, those are the things that damage the exterior of your home, particularly if you've got regular old paint. But I don't. I have Rhino Shield. I had it put on over 12 years ago, and I don't have to worry about those things. You won't either. And if you call Darren right now, call him today, you can lock in his 2019 pricing, which he's been offering for all of 2020. They're still out applying this great Rhino Shield coating to the exterior of your home, your church, your condo. They've done thousands of homes in the greater St. Louis area, stretching all the way down to the Lake of the Ozarks. They put it on and it lasts, and you get a 25-year warranty. Take advantage of it, though. Call Darren today. Invite him over. 877-25-RHINO is the phone number, or go online at 877-25rhino.com.
Attention St. Louis homeowners. Are you looking to sell your house without all the stress? Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis can buy your house cash and close on your timeline. No commissions, no repairs, no appraisals, no showings, no headache. Call Chris now, 314-782-7000, or go online to chrisbuysHomesSTL.com to get a free no-obligation cash offer for your house. Behind on payments? The tenant stopped paying the rent? The house needs too many repairs? Not a problem. Chris buys houses in any condition and deals with any situation. There's a reason why Chris Buys Homes is the most trusted home buyer in St. Louis. Go online to get your offer today. chrisbuysHomesSTL.com or call 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000.
Hello, Stewart's American Mortgage is the place to go to get that lower rate, get that refinance done, and to do it in a way that you can't get that refi anywhere else. You can't get a home purchase anywhere else like you can with Stewart's American Mortgage, because he's got the bagel loan. He created his entire business around this concept of being able to get you into that refi or get you into that home loan purchase and not have to charge you all that host of fees that every other lender out there is going to charge you for. That's how Stewie does his business, and he does it with you, and you are going to do the business with him. It's a personal situation for him. Of course it should be. It's a lot of money that's on the line, right? 314-324-4440. If you're looking for a refinance and you want to learn more about the bagel loan, he'll tell you exactly how he can help you. He did to me as well. 314-324-4440. You can reach out to Stewie. You can call him. You can text him. Mention Annie when you do. NMLS number 226715.
97.1 FM Talk is on the radio and online on your smart speaker, on your phone, and streaming anytime at 971talk.com. Find it all at radio.com. 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We are still turning and burning here as we are watching the minute-by-minute updates that are coming in regarding the election. That's why you are here, we know, and we are going to have each and every update for you as it happens. Just the latest here. About 12 minutes ago, Fox reported that Rudy Giuliani says he is en route to Philadelphia with a legal team to challenge results there. Quote, massive cheating, end quote, he says. This according to Fox News. And if you look at his Rudy Giuliani's Twitter, it says Donald Trump up by 550,000 votes with 75% counted. Will not let Philly Democrats hacks steal it. So Rudy Giuliani to Philadelphia. 11 minutes ago, Trump to win Maine 2nd Congressional District. The Fox News Decision Desk can now project that President Trump will defeat former Vice President Joe Biden in the 2nd Congressional District of Maine, one of two states that does not award delegates on a winner-take-all basis. So Trump wins a single electoral vote in Maine, where Biden won the other three last night. Every single one counts right now, folks. And then the last update that I have for you, 7 minutes ago, Fox reporting that Trump is to file suit in Michigan Court of Claims to halt vote counting. Quote, as votes in Michigan continue to be counted, the presidential race in the state remains extremely tight, as we always knew it would be. President Trump's campaign has not been provided with meaningful access to numerous counting locations to observe the opening of ballots and the counting process as guaranteed by Michigan law. Bill Stepien, Trump 2020 campaign manager, says in a statement, quote, we have filed suit today in the Michigan Court of Claims to halt counting until meaningful access has been granted. We also demand to review those ballots which were opened and counted while we did not have meaningful access. President Trump is committed to ensuring that all legal votes are counted in Michigan and everywhere else. Here to react to this, someone who's probably gotten about as much sleep as I have, Jeroy Murdoch. He joins us each Wednesday. This Wednesday, no different. Jeroy, oh my gosh, hold on tight, white knuckle. What's your reaction to where we are right now, and maybe where do you think we're headed?
Annie, great to talk to you. I think it was put very well on the front page of the New York Post, which just says nail biter. It has a close-up of a woman biting her fingernails, which I guess about 330 million of us biting our fingernails, see what happens. It's now, polls have been closed for, I guess, about 15 hours, and it's at the moment Biden 238, Trump 214, neither one anywhere near 270, and a whole lot in flux from recounts to lawsuits to, I guess in Pennsylvania, ballots still coming in. They're able to come in until Friday, and I think North Carolina ballots are able to come in until next Tuesday, if I remember correctly. So it's totally in flux, and obviously I hope President Trump gets reelected. I think there's still a possibility of that, especially if some of these uncounted ballots in rural areas where he's done so well actually come in the way that he hopes. There's some thought on the part of the Trump campaign that even though Arizona has been called for Biden by Fox News and I think maybe the AP, they believe there's some ballots outstanding there that could be helpful. The same in Nevada. So to be continued.
So, Jeroy, there's what's going to happen in the election. We don't have the answer to that. I'm not going to ask you to tell us what you think. At least it would be a prediction, just like what we all are trying to do is just looking into our crystal ball here. But I want to ask you about the way that this was handled last night. You look at the way some races are called and then the way other races still haven't been called. Does it make you raise your eyebrow as to why this happens, or do you feel like there's a method to the madness and they understand what they're doing and we'll just all understand in the end?
Well, a lot of these pollsters, especially with the networks and so on, will call races one or the other. Sometimes they've had to pull back, I guess most dramatically when they called the election for G.W. Bush back in 2000, and a couple hours later they back off on that and left it undecided, and remained undecided for 5 weeks in the whole Bush v. Gore Florida recount fiasco. We'll see if any of these predictions actually go back the other way. As I say, with a lot of the mail-in ballot thing, the absentee ballots in Nevada, mass mail-in ballots. I was in touch with a gentleman in Las Vegas who found, for 4 or 5 days in a row, found mail-in ballots on the ground in front of his apartment, in the trash can in front of the apartment. Ballots just sort of spewed out across the state by the Democrats who thought that was the way they ought to handle things. I mean, it's one thing to give absentee ballots to people who request them. They were sending ballots out to all sorts of people. I know a woman who lives here in New York who has been here for 5 years. Her parents got a ballot at her house, at their house, and she's not lived in Nevada for 5 years. I talked to someone who's got a friend who's both dead grandparents got ballots. So this entire race this year has been a real mess. I think we desperately need to go back to the concept that's in the Constitution that Election Day is the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. It doesn't start 60 days before that. It doesn't end 3 or 9 days after that. And we need to get back to the concept of voting on the day that says in the Constitution, unless you're sick or out of town, and all these other shenanigans have to stop. I mean, at worst, you get fraud in a stolen election. At best, you get an election that's honest, but people have a lot of questions about it, and they question the system and are skeptical about it. And that's the way that, over time, credibility of institutions just erodes down to nothing.
We're speaking with Jeroy Murdoch. He's a Fox News contributor. The prospect of a Joe Biden presidency is a very real thing right now. And a lot of people are looking at this and they're on the edge of their seats. I'm sure that if you're a Joe Biden supporter right now, you wish it were a little more firm up. But, there is hope that is certainly had there for the people in the Joe Biden camp. And we've gotten this question from people listening to the show, people who called in. What does a Joe Biden presidency really look like? Do we feel as though he's going to be the leader in that administration, or what is it comprised of? I think we don't I feel like I don't know if we really understand what it's going to be.
Well, if God forbid he actually ends up being elected and becomes our next president, our choices are either a hard left or a far left presidency. If Joe Biden's in charge and he's actually the guy calling the shots, he's not a moderate. He's never been a moderate. He's not a centrist. He's always been a solid left liberal. He is, among other things, he wants a $4 trillion tax hike. He wants to kill the Washington, D.C. school voucher program. He's said over and over that he's against fracking, and then he said he's for it. I think he may be able to keep his promise by not actually ending fracking, just studying these projects and study them and do this study on the environment, do another study on impact on the economy. I imagine that these people will say, okay, we want you to do a racial impact study. What will be the impact on racial justice of this fracking proposal? So that's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is, as frail as he's been and has been sort of wavering mental condition as we've seen him be over the last few months, if he doesn't last all 4 years and Kamala Harris steps up as the president, she is to the left of Bernie Sanders in terms of her vote record. She's solid left. I think she's a full-blown socialist. And if she becomes president, we're going to have an even more left-wing government. So the prospects are not good. I think at best they're bad. At worst, they're terrible.
We're speaking with Jory Murdoch, Fox News contributor right now. There's some other things that are taking shape over the course of the election, getting, very much so overshadowed by the absence of a definitive answer that we have in the presidential race. And that is that the Senate seems to be as though it's going to be retained by Republicans, which is, especially at the prospect of a Biden presidency, a very, very important thing. And also a pickup in the House. I don't feel like the Republicans were supposed to be picking up seats in the House. And you look across the entire country and you see some of these stories that have come out of the Republican Party. It seems as though the Republican Party is broadening its base. It's changing the way it looks on the surface. And I feel as though that was a purposeful task, a goal for the GOP this campaign cycle. I'm curious what your reaction is, aside from the presidential circus that we're watching right now. How else do you feel about what the Republicans were able to pull off last night?
Yeah, I think it's a big sigh of relief that if there is a Biden presidency, I really hope there isn't one, but if there is, that the Republican Senate will be able to act as a brake on his excesses, which is terrific. I imagine he'll end up doing a lot of stuff by executive order, a lot of things that he'll have to do only if Congress goes along. And if we have a Republican Senate, I imagine they will moderate him, if not just block a lot of the terrible things he wants to do. So that's a big plus. As you say, the House looks like the GOP picked up 5 House seats. They didn't regain control, but they reduced Nancy Pelosi's majority. That's a big plus. And as far as the broadening, if you will, of the party, one of the reasons the president did as well as he's done is a big increase in Hispanic support. I think that probably is what won him Florida pretty handily. And this bodes well for the future of the GOP. I think it also puts a lie to the concept that President Trump is this racist, white supremacist nonsense. We've heard this over and over. And if that were the case, I don't think you would have seen this increase in his Hispanic, I think also his black support.
One last question for you, Jory, before we let you go. The polls said that this was supposed to be a Biden landslide. It was predicted to be much the same as Hillary Clinton in 2016. And, I thought, how could they possibly be this wrong again? And they might still get their Biden presidency. They might not. But it certainly wasn't what we have been told. The American people are going to feel lied to on both sides of this issue. The people who are, being worried about whether or not Biden's going to be able to pull it off, and the people who are sick and tired of seeing these pollsters be used in the media to try to shape some sort of agenda that suits certainly not the American people. Is there a reckoning for these pollsters and for the media here, or is there nobody to hold them accountable?
I guess the question, what do you mean by hold accountable? I mean, you can't, if a pollster gets a poll wrong, we can't throw them in jail. We can't arrest them. I guess you can stop paying attention to them, but these guys just continue, and they're people keep buying their polls and putting their polls on TV and all that. I guess at a minimum, what we do is bring these guys in, get them on TV, and say, "Why did you screw this up again?" Now, some of it is, to be fair to them, it's a lot harder to get people to respond in polls these days because you have fewer landlines. You've got people on cell phones. A lot of people block calls. They get sick of junk calls. They just hang up. Number one. Number two, you've got people who lie to pollsters. They're really for Trump, but they don't say so because they're afraid. They don't know if it's Gallup calling or is it Antifa calling. If you say, "I'm voting for Trump," it turns out not to be Gallup, but it's Antifa. And, half an hour later, a brick comes through your window. A lot of people are legitimately scared of that. So they either don't answer the poll or they pollster or they just lie to the pollster. So that's another difficulty. But I do think you have pollsters who have agendas, and rather than trying to get an honest reflection of public opinion, they try to shape it so that they either depress Republican enthusiasm, or they artificially pump up Democratic energy. And in that sense, these people are not neutral observers. They're very active participants. And if that's what they are, that they ought to be labeled as such that we can either discount, if we wish, or give added value to their polls, rather than assume that they're purely objective and scientific, which very often they're not.
Dory Murdoch, you're always a pleasure to have on the show here, and we're going to continue to watch this stuff as it comes through, and we'll touch base again with you next week with hopefully more information. We'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. Maybe we'll know something by then.
Maybe we will. Hopefully we
Yes.
will. Dory, thank you so much.
All right, Annie, great to talk to you. Take care.
You as
Bye-bye.
well. Bye-bye. Deroy Murdoch there, Fox News contributor and a friend of the show, and we're grateful to have him on here. He seems as though he has a significant amount of hope out still that there's somehow or another going to be a Trump victory to be able to pull out of this. So let's hope that that's the case. I don't know, and I am not going to put my eggs in any basket. I'm just sitting here waiting to find out who the president of this amazing country is.
And you want somebody to deliver you coffee.
I have it.
Yes.
It's en route. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I'm
Yes.
so grateful. I'm so grateful. Everybody right now is if you wanted to listen to the 2:00 hour of the show, you just send some positive vibes out to my parents, because they are going to fuel it with some Starbucks here in a hot second. Quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to speak with Tim Jones, and he is going to talk about the great day that the state of Missouri had yesterday. So we're going to get the lowdown from him. Everything you need to know. He has been following it very closely, and he will break it down for us here in just a second. Tim Jones on the Annie Fry Show when we return.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Michael's Flooring Outlet, online at michaelsflooringoutlet.com. They've got 3 locations for you. If you're shopping for flooring and you want to make sure that you get a fantastic deal, but you also don't want to have to sacrifice quality, that's why people go to Michael's Flooring Outlet, because they're the experts. Michael is so good at what he does. He understands flooring, and he understands how to make sure that he can acquire flooring in a way that allows him to pass on great savings to you. It's why he buys waterproof flooring in bulk. Did you know you can get waterproof flooring in both hardwood finishes and in stone finishes? Makes for an interesting possibility in your kitchen, bathrooms possibly as well. If you are looking for Mohawk Smart Strand, Forever Clean Arrow, Revwood Plus flooring, carpet. I love carpet, especially in the winter. Carpet makes the house a little more cozy, especially when you got little ones running around. If you're looking for a carpet replacement, Michael's Flooring Outlet is the place to go. Check them out in St. Charles County and West County, also in Darien Prairie. And you can visit them online right now to see their wonderful quality and products at michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
If you are looking for a home warranty, please check out my friends at Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. You know, that maintenance part of their title is extremely important. Most home warranty companies out there want to deny your claim due to lack of maintenance. They claim you haven't been taking care of your equipment over time, so they don't have to help you out. Well, at Upkeep, they completely eliminate that worry by sending their own technicians out to your home 4 times a year to do the general maintenance for you. And if you ever need service done, they will either repair or replace your equipment, and that work is also being done by an Upkeep employee. It's not a third-party contractor trying to upsell you. Their plans are extremely affordable. You can even divide your payments up over the 12 months of the year. And when you use code DGS, you get $100 off your service. To check out all of their different home warranty plans, go to their website, upkeepstl.com. That's upkeepstl.com.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Yeah, it's one of those mornings. It's wet outside. It's cold. It gives you just a little taste of what's coming over the course of the winter. Ice and snow and rain and sun, those are the things that damage the exterior of your home, particularly if you've got regular old paint. But I don't. I have Rhino Shield. I had it put on over 12 years ago, and I don't have to worry about those things. You won't either. And if you call Darren right now, call him today, you can lock in his 2019 pricing, which he's been offering for all of 2020. They're still out applying this great Rhino Shield coating to the exterior of your home, your church, your condo. They've done thousands of homes in the greater St. Louis area, stretching all the way down to the Lake of the Ozarks. They put it on, and it lasts, and you get a 25-year warranty. Take advantage of it, though. Call Darren today. Invite him over. 877-25-RHINO is the phone number, or go online at 877-25rhino.com.
The latest local forecast and severe weather coverage you can count on from the name in St. Louis weather.
This is 97.1's Chief Meteorologist, Dave Murray.
On 97.1 FM Talk, powered by Air Comfort Service. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
The legends and the myths.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show.
Achilles and his gifts, Spider-Man's control, and Batman with his fist. And clearly I don't see myself upon that list. But she said, where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Man, so much is happening right now, and states are being discussed about being called. There's the possibility. We've got AP and CNN calling Wisconsin for Biden, but we also know already that the Trump campaign has demanded a recount in Wisconsin because it's close enough for that to happen. We've got Rudy Giuliani en route to Philadelphia. That makes all kinds of people nervous. We've got President Trump winning that second congressional district in Maine, so he gets one more electoral vote there. And the Trump campaign is filing lawsuit in Michigan. So this is what's happening right now, and we're going to continue to find this. Also getting a lot of rumblings about weirdness going on in Arizona, and we're going to follow up with that later on in the show. But to talk about some of the huge victories, very, very exciting victories that we enjoyed in Missouri yesterday, we've got Tim Jones.
Another great night for Donald Trump.
No collusion, no obstruction.
This is Armageddon.
You know, I brought you Outlander.
Brought to you by Arrowhead Building Supply.
Well, Tim Jones, I don't know if it was another great night for Donald Trump. We're still waiting to see. I want to talk to you about the Trump train here, but I want to get you on here and discussing the very, very long list of achievements that Missouri ticked off their list yesterday. Tim, you covered it all night long, and we're grateful to have you here today. Hope you got a little bit of sleep. Lay it on us. Let us have it.
Annie, same to you all. You guys are doing yeoman and yo woman's work today, being back on the air. It's been a long, tough slog, but hey, we're blessed. We get to talk for a living, and it is an honor and a privilege to be back on your airwaves. Thanks so much for having me. Annie, with the exception of the presidency, which is still very much in the balance, let's put that aside for a minute. Yeah, that's a big prize, right? That's the ultimate prize. But, not necessarily if you're not going to combine the House and the Senate with it. So let's put the presidency aside. Democrats, especially the Missouri Democrat Party, had a horrible, terrible, really bad day yesterday. And when you put it up against what the pundits, the pollsters, the prognosticators, the leftist liberals who have just had Trump derangement syndrome since before Donald Trump was inaugurated, they should all be crying over all the spilt milk. The liberal tears should be overrunneth. And I really think they are, Annie, behind the scenes from what I'm hearing, because they had loss after loss after loss yesterday, not just here in Missouri, but all across the great land. Annie, what were my 3 keys to the election? I said, if there's not too much voter fraud, and boy, here we go, I think Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Arizona are going to make Florida 2000 look like romper room. So buckle down for that. So that was my one key, which is going to prove, I think, correct with some of the voter fraud stories you're hearing coming out of those states. Number two, I said, is the shy Trump voter a real thing? Heck yeah, it was. They showed up in spades yesterday. Republicans won actually this thing called Election Day, that we used to have, versus voting 3 months before and 2 months after, allowing ballot harvesting and all kinds of other illegal actions. And number three, I talked about the Hispanic and the African-American vote. Boy, did the Republican Party expand its tent yesterday in those two metrics. And Annie, right here in the state of Missouri, all of those were true. We're not going to have a lot of voter fraud here, if any. The races have all been called. They were way outside the margin of error. The pollsters were wrong in Missouri, every single one of them. They should all be fired tomorrow and be Walmart greeters the day after, because they were wrong. I was right. I said Donald Trump was going to win in double digits. None of them did. Donald Trump wins Missouri by nearly 16 points, and Governor Mike Parson has the smallest margin of victory, a 17-point victory over Nicole Galloway. Nobody, except me, saw that coming. Congresswoman Ann Wagner, I told you she was going to pull it out, didn't I? Run the tape on that. I told you she was going to pull it out. She's a fighter. She's never down for the count. Not only did she win, Annie, she even surprised me. She won St. Louis County, free and clear. Jeffco and St. Charles were icing on the cake. Andrew Koenig goes back to the state Senate. Annie, every single thing the Democrats were hoping for did not happen. The Missouri Republican Party, huge credit to Gene Evans, Kay Hofflander, Steele Shippey, the campaign manager for Mike Parson. Everybody else down the ticket delivered. We only lost, perhaps, because they're actually going to probably recount this seat down here in Greene County and Springfield. On net, the Republican Party may lose one House seat. Wow. They retain their supermajorities. 2 cycles in a row against these alleged blue waves, which are nothing more than little blue drips coming out of the faucet. And Amendment 3, the biggest news of the night, Annie, against $8+ million of Soros dark money, NARAL, anti-gun groups, the NEA, the unions, you name it. They threw the entire kitchen sink at it. The Missouri people listen to people like you and me and our shows and others, the grassroots. We won Amendment 3. George Soros and his dark money groups lost. It was $8 million to like $5, and the people prevailed. Nicole Galloway will not draw Missouri's House or Senate legislative districts. We are secure. The Republican supermajority, I'm going to declare, is secure for the next 10 years.
So, you lay out such a wonderful scenario there for the state of Missouri, and Illinois had some wins last night. We're on our way, and we're going to look just a little bit due west to see a nice blueprint of how to have some Republican conservative success there. I'm looking right now to shift gears a little bit at the box score. Thursday, October 27th, 2011. And the St. Louis Cardinals were playing the Texas Rangers. And the score was 4-4 in the bottom of the sixth. The Cardinals tied it up in the bottom of the sixth. And it's exciting. It's game 6. And then here come the Texas Rangers, and they land 3 runs on the St. Louis Cardinals in the top of the 7th, right after we come and tie it up. Here comes Texas Rangers, pow, pow, pow. And they take us up 7-4. And then the rest is history. And it took us 11 innings to get to David Free's heroic, forever and ever legendary St. Louis status. But I remember going back and watching that game, and I was 100% convinced that there was no way we were going to win that game like 5 separate times. And we pulled it off. And I'm saying this story because I'm trying to make our listeners happy today. But I think that it's indicative of what we're heading towards. Not a game 6 for Donald Trump necessarily, but we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen yet. And you've been paying very close attention to this yet. You said Donald Trump's campaign is not over yet, and you're looking to the days ahead. Tim, tell us what you see happening as recounts take place, lawsuits get filed, and the rest of us non-legal experts sit and chew our fingernails down to the bone.
Yeah, well, Annie, this is the lawyer improvement plan for the nation. Let's keep those jobs rolling. Maybe I should get back into practice, and make a little Christmas cash here. Let me tell you, we've been preparing for this day. I started getting emails from the Republican National Lawyers Association months ago. I'm sure the DNC was probably even ahead of us on that. They knew this was heading to litigation. We all knew this was going to head to litigation before this was over. Let's talk about some more of the national Democratic losses, because that's more fun. Then we'll get back to Trump. So Nancy Pelosi continues to bleed seats in the U.S. House, right? She's already lost 5 seats. Her majority will continue to shrink. Mitch McConnell, meanwhile, cocaine Mitch, man, I would not play poker with that guy, right? He's gonna nuke you every time with those shark eyes. And he retains control of the Senate with some big pickups there of John James looking like he's going to wrap up things in Michigan. That is an epic expansion of the Big Tent with that awesome Black American conservative, war hero coming into the U.S. Senate. That is the future of the Republican Party. He's young. He can be there for a long time. So many other victories, Annie. And the only disappointments, we don't know if they're going to be disappointments long term. There's a lot of shenanigans going on out in Arizona. Fox News, a huge disappointment in their coverage last night. I'm sort of done with Chris Wallace and his Beltway elitism. I guess he wants to keep the invitations coming for the cocktail parties. He was in with the Biden camp. It was obvious from very early on. And he seems to be cheerleading for them to the very end here. His Trump derangement syndrome is on full display. But Arizona was called by Fox. They're the only ones that called it. The New York Times has not called Arizona yet for anyone, because there's apparently several 100,000 votes outstanding and a very slim lead for Joe Biden. And then we look back to Pennsylvania. Well, they pretty much went home last night around 9 or 10 o'clock and decided to stop counting votes. Their tally was stuck at 64%. It went up to 80% today. President Trump is still in the lead there. So forget about Wisconsin and Michigan, where probably the height of the litigation is going to begin. If Arizona somehow gets called, I'm not going to say it's a flip, because Fox News shouldn't have called that state. Right. If Arizona gets actually called for President Trump, and then he hangs on to that lead in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin and Michigan become academic, because he won't need those electoral votes, because President Trump will be over 270. This thing's long from over. And if you were to combine that then with everything else I just described, I go back to what I first said, and I stand by it. The Democrats nationally, and especially in the state of Missouri, did not have a good election night. When we were told this was going to be a blue wave, this was going to be a referendum on the Republican Party. Look at the popular vote, Annie. It's closer than it was 4 years ago. The popular vote is barely 2%. And when you look at the House races, Annie, it's like 0.8% or so. So the country, unfortunately, remains very polarized. But anybody who wrote the obituary for conservatism and for the Republican Party was way over their skis and is now crashing down the cliff.
I want to ask you, Tim, before we let you go here, about where the American viewer, voter, taxpayer, constituent sits right now, because you're kind of, it feels a little lonely out here, because there's a bunch of different places you can look to get information. It's not concise. It's questionable. And the real question we have to ask ourselves is, do we trust the people who are giving us the information that is being provided to us? These pollsters were so incredibly wrong. Even if Biden wins and he ekes this out, the pollsters blew it. Do you believe that those pollsters and the way that the media uses them, does that sway public opinion? Does it sway voter turnout?
Absolutely. And I'm going to call it a national security risk for the entire country. And I'm not being Pollyannish about it. I'm dead serious. We are in a dangerous place in our representative democracy when we have a national liberal media and national polling companies that are wholly owned subsidiaries of the radical left, right? If you look at I'm going to tell you to look at a very unusual source coming from Tim Jones. I want you to go to the New York Times site that's tracking all this stuff, right? They actually have a pretty good site. Like, I just gave them kudos for not calling Arizona, unlike Fox News. It seems like on election night is the one time the New York Times seems to try to be what it used to be, the old objective gray lady. And if you look at their site, go to the House map, the U.S. House map. You are going to see something that's going to blow you away, and you will understand what's going on in this country. Pull up the U.S. House map, the red-blue map on the New York Times election site, you're going to see a country that is largely red from sea to shining sea, except where the blue areas are, where we are, and those are the people that are trying to govern us. We are a country of common sense, conservative, center-right people that is unfortunately largely lorded over by coastal elites. It is shocking when you see how much republicanism, how much common sense conservatism there is in the country. There's no gerrymandering here. When it's red from sea to shining sea, from north to south, with just little pockets of blue along some of the coast and around some of the large urban areas, we know who is trying to govern the people here in Missouri and all across the heartland. It's these oligarchs. It's these egghead elitists in Washington, D.C., New York, and California. And that's what the people need to realize. And I think this COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted that. We know how to address COVID. It's a virus. It's like any other virus. It tends to be a little more transmissible, a little more contagious, but it has a plummeting death rate. And Missourians, Americans in general, one of the biggest issues was getting our nation back to normalcy, getting kids back to school, getting the economy running again, or we're not going to have a country. We're just going to have this kind of a post-apocalyptic Orwellian world, this kind of Hunger Games-esque oligarchy where Pan Am governs most of the country, and those of the little serfs here in the heartland provide all the food. Americans are not going to stand for that. That's Hollywood. That's not reality. The reality is, I think the people are trying to take their power back. You saw that in every single race, every single legislative body across the country, except for the presidency, which still does hang in the balance.
Tim, are people going to change their viewing habits, their information seeking habits after last night?
I hope so, Annie. You know, a site that I use every single day, I get nothing from this other than I find them useful, is realclearpolitics.com. You can get on there and you can see both sides of the equation. You can kind of make up your own mind. They're really good about being very clear, you know, on the editorial page of that site, you know, different views on different things: systemic racism, criminal justice, taxes, regulation, foreign policy, because they give you those different competing views, a wealth of information on sites like that. I'm sure there's other great sites as well. But that's the one I tend to use because I do get the both sides of the coin there. I think the Wall Street Journal is a very legitimate, objective news source. They're not cheerleaders for Donald Trump, but they're cheerleaders for common sense conservatism, which I still think is the popular opinion in this country. Also, Investor Business Daily. I think Investors Business Daily is another good, solid source. Do not rely on the old dinosaur alphabet media, the ABC, the CBS. You can watch that stuff. You can check it out, but do not rely on it. If you only got 5 minutes to get your news every day, which I understand that's all people have, use some of the other resources I gave to you, or just listen to the Annie Fry Show.
Yeah, that works. Fox just projected Joe Biden wins Wisconsin. They gave him the green check, Tim. So here we go.
And the New York Times as well.
Yep.
Bring in the lawyers, like I said.
Yeah. Send in, is it the
Send
lawyers?
in the clowns.
I was going to say it, and then I thought, you're a lawyer, and that would be rude. You've been such a great guest.
I'm used to it.
Don't bother,
worry.
they're here. Okay. Tim Jones, thank you so much. That was the interview that I needed and that we all needed. Thank you so much. It's great to
Thanks,
have
Annie.
you here.
Thanks, gang.
We'll be in touch with you for sure. We're gonna take a quick break here. When we come back, we can get to some phone calls, and before we do that, I am going to make sure that we have all of you updated on the latest. Obviously, Fox is given the green check, or what color is that?
Yellow.
Let's say yellowish. Probably depends on your monitor.
Yellow.
Check to Wisconsin for Joe Biden. That's not surprising at this point in the venture. If you have just joined us and you didn't know there was an election, you might be shocked.
What?
Who knows? If you go look at my map that I predicted, I had Wisconsin blue. So Michigan, I had red. So we will see how that ends up unfolding. This is very self-serving and personal, but just a gigantic amount of gratitude to my mom and dad who picked up my Starbucks order and brought it to me, because I had no caffeine and I have had very little sleep and I haven't had time to eat breakfast, and I am suffering here.
We are running on E.
In the middle of the Tim Jones interview, my door cracked right here and my mom is standing there with my Starbucks, and I am just very eternally grateful for that. So thank you for that quick drop off. We're going to take a quick break. We'll get to the latest updates when we return. When news happens, we're going to have it right here on 97.1 in the Annie Fry Show. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. You're listening to the Annie Fry Show.
Reading the books of old, the legends and the myths, the testaments that told the moon and its eclipse, and Superman unrolls a suit before he lived. But I'm not the kind of person that it fits. She said, where'd you wanna go?
Well, every time we talk about elections here, everybody makes all those promises that if such and such wins, then I'm moving. And I know someone who can sell your house. So if you are looking to move and you need to sell your house, you need to go with the number one team in St. Louis, the Monsheen team. These are the kindest salt of the earth, folks. Over 60 years of experience between Christy and JT Monsheen, a mother and son team. You can find them online at the monsheenteam.com, MONSCHEIN team.com. They are the number one agents for Berkshire Hathaway Alliance Real Estate, and it's been so since 2005. Ranked in the top 5 of all St. Louis out of 14,000 agents. They are that successful, and they do it the right way, the way you probably would want it to be, like with a personal relationship, somebody who's going to get to know you, who's going to dedicate their time to you to make sure that when it comes time to sell your house, they're going to understand you, they're going to listen to you, and they are going to get it sold fast. Same thing with buying a home. When it comes time to get a house, you need to connect yourself with the Monsheen team. 636-537-8288. That's 636-537-8288. TheMonsheenteam.com.
The economy was booming. Business was thriving. But then the greatest health and economic crisis of our generation shook our country. Entrepreneurs asked, how will my business and employees survive? Insperity was built for times like this. Driven by our mission to help businesses succeed so communities prosper, we were there to help them navigate their way and ultimately rise above. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Hey, Tony Colombo here to tell you about an upcoming fossil rock and mineral show with a biblical perspective. The account in the Bible says there was a worldwide flood about 4,300 years ago, but does the fossil record support this event as a historical fact? Do you have a lot of questions about this topic like I do? Well, Agape Historical Answers will be hosting a fossil rock and mineral show that delivers strong support for the worldwide flood described in the Bible. Come out and see thousands of fossils, rocks, and minerals with a 30-minute presentation given multiple times throughout the day. The show is this Saturday, November 7th from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Pillar Foundation in Ellisville. Call Bill Barnes at 314-608-2928 for more information. This event is free, and there will be free fossils and rocks for all attendees to take home. Families and skeptics welcome. That's this Saturday, November 7th at the Pillar Foundation in Ellisville. Call Bill Barnes at 314-608-2928, 314-608-2928 for more information.
Has this ever happened to you? I wasn't feeling great, so I searched my symptoms on Google, and now I'm being followed by really uncomfortable ads. I hate feeling like my personal information is being bought and sold. I got DuckDuckGo and saw a difference right away. With one download, you can search and browse privately, avoiding trackers, all for free. It's that simple. Take back your privacy online with DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at ThrottleNet.com. So it's crazy time at ThrottleNet. They are IT geniuses, but they are a little bit nutty. Right now, they will pay you $250 for a conversation about your IT support because they value your time during the crazy pandemic. They'll give you the first 30 days for free, no charge for all of their services. And then they'll pay you another $1,000 if you decide to leave in the first 30 days for your trouble. They don't anticipate that you're going to leave, but if you do, they'll shake your hand, they'll put you back where you were, and they'll write you a check for $1,000. It is completely no risk, and they reward you for your time and for your effort. They are the best IT shop in the city, named number 1 5 years straight. They are good guys. Like I said, they are geniuses at protecting you, but they can communicate. They don't stare at their shoes. They look you in the eye, and they tell you what you need to know. ThrottleNet.com/971.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating over 50 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Dave Glover Show.
Stop screwing with each other. Not only is it hurting us, but we used to be kind of cool in the world. I'm not so sure anymore.
Weekdays at 3 on 97.1 FM Talk. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Season rise when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sleep alone. Sweep the streets I used to own. I used to roll.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Pleasure to be with you today. It has been quite 24 hours, and we are holding on tight for sure as we continue to watch information as it pulls in here. The latest, let's see, it didn't update here. The latest information that we have is that Fox News, the New York Times, and the AP have all called Wisconsin for Joe Biden. We also know that, let's see here, this is from 2 hours ago. Trump campaign says Trump will immediately request a recount in Wisconsin despite ridiculous public polling used as a voter suppression tactic. Wisconsin has been a razor-thin race, as we always knew that it would be. Bill Stepien, Trump 2020 campaign manager, says in a statement. There have been reports of irregularities in several Wisconsin counties, which raise serious doubts about the validity of the results. The president is well within the threshold to request a recount, and we will immediately do so. This isn't just your average recount scenario either, because all of these states are, COVID. Remember COVID?
Remember that thing?
Remember when we redid everything this year and repackaged everything this year because COVID just came in and like turned the whole thing upside down and we had to rearrange everything?
Katie, you remember COVID?
Gosh.
So
Every waking day.
Katie is still in quarantine because Katie tested positive from COVID. How are you feeling, especially after being up till 1:30 last night?
I'm good. Yeah, I think that even if I didn't have COVID, I would still be exhausted, but we all knew what we signed up for. We all knew that yesterday was going to be a long day and that today there was a possibility that today and the rest of the week were going to be long, but I'm feeling good. I'm even feeling good for Trump. I have good expectations. They're not high.
Don't go up with your voice when you say that. Just say, see, Katie, I gotta explain something to you. If you say, I have good expectations for Trump, then people go, oh, did you hear Katie Fitzpatrick on the Annie Fry Show? She said she has good expectations. You go, I have good expectations for Trump. And then they're like, oh, Katie's thrown in the towel.
Millennial.
Yeah, I have, they're not high, but I do have a good feeling about it. And that could just be my optimistic nature. However, still have the rest of the week. So, but yeah, I think that I'm feeling good. Still can't taste anything. Still can't smell anything.
The morning that you wake up or whenever that happens and you can taste whatever it is that you decide to taste, it's going to be glorious.
I can't wait for it. I can't wait to smell these beautiful flowers that you guys got me too. They're gorgeous.
Put them in the shot. I want to see
I'm going
them.
to.
What do you miss tasting?
Ooh, those are good. They did a very good job picking those out. Thanks, Jared.
Thanks, Jared.
Carl, you've seen a few elections in your time. How many elections have you covered? Because you've been in media for 30 years?
30 years.
30
holy cow.
Short years.
So the first one would have been the midterms of 90. And then the first one would have been 1992 with the plurality of Bill Clinton, not getting a majority, but that's Ross Perot and H.W. Bush was the first election that I covered.
So does this, do you have thoughts? Do you have experience to play on that maybe we don't have? Which is to say we're so much younger than you.
No. Yes, because I'm a grandpa. No, I'm not. I am not a grandfather. Oh, somebody in my family probably just had a heart attack. No, I am not a grandfather.
I am a grandpa. I am not a grandpa.
Katie,
this is another lesson in emphasis. He said the same sentence twice, and one word changed, but the emphasis really drove home which one he was more passionate about and why. What do you think? What's going to happen, Carl? Crystal ball time.
I went to the RNC and the DNC in 2012, and the passion that was there for, let's just say, the Democrat candidate was not there for the Republican candidate. And then in 2016, I got to go to the local rallies, and the passion for the Republican candidate was a lot more for than the Democrat candidate. This year, it's not the same. It's not the same as it was 4 years ago, and it's definitely not the same as it was 12 years ago. This is either you're for or against the Republican candidate. There's no light. There's not a lot of love for Joe Biden. It's not the love. It's the hate for Donald Trump.
Yeah. And it's,
which is weird. That's not how elections should be.
Yeah.
But here we are, 2020.
It's the way that it's gonna continue to be. I mean, do you if this goes into the court system, and if Donald Trump were able to pull out a victory here, which is possible, folks, this is still a possibility. I don't think it's a probability, but I think it's a possibility. Can you imagine what the next 4 years are going to be like? I mean, they said that he stole the election with the help of Russia last time. Now he's going to say that he stole it with the help of a court system that he stacked, which is Obama's fault for leaving it unfilled.
Harry Reid's fault.
Oh man, I mean, when you think about what he has been through and done so far, oh gosh, it's just like, girl, get up, get out of bed, put your pants on, and go to work, and thank God that you were born in America, because that is still a bad day in America so much better than a good day in some of these other countries across the world. We're gonna have to do a little inventory on our priorities and our perspectives, I think. All right, let's take a quick break. Oh my gosh, it's 2 o'clock.
Take a breath.
Is it 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. right now?
It's 2020.
I can't see outside.
It could be either.
It doesn't matter. Up is down, left is right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Adam Schuster is going to join us. He's the Senior Director of Budget and Tax Research at Illinois Policy, and they had a huge part in squashing that progressive income tax. We're going to ask him what it means now that it didn't pass, and what's going to come next for Illinois taxpayers. What do we have to be prepared for? And keep sending your messages on the YouTube Live. We'll be back in just a minute.
Your energy needs are changing. That's why Ameren, Missouri isn't waiting on the future. We're building it with a smart energy plan, advancing thousands of projects across the state. Here in St. Louis, we're adding new clean energy sources and installing new composite poles to better withstand storms. Moving Missouri closer to a future of energy centered around you. That's energy at work. Learn more at amerenmissouri.com/plan.
This November 3rd, be sure to finish your ballot and vote for your judges. Missouri's judicial system gives voters the final say in retaining their judges. So know your judges before you vote. Visit yourmissouriJudges.org and learn about the nonpartisan judges up for retention this year. That's yourmissouriJudges.org. It's up to you to help make sure we have skilled, fair, and impartial judges. Know your judges and finish the ballot proudly. Visit yourmissouriJudges.org. Paid for by the Missouri Bar. Misha Epps, Executive Director.
It's time for your garage door winter maintenance with Overhead Door. For just $89.95, our 26-point operation and safety inspection helps keep your doors and openers running smooth and reliable all winter long. That's one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Look for the genuine, the original red ribbon of Overhead Door. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original.
Del Walmsley here. The first thing you're going to have to learn is until you stop expecting the politicians or anyone else to change your life isn't going to change. The only person who can change your life is you, but you need to know how. Listen to my show, The Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins.
You could be on your way to a better lifestyle and experience the life of your dreams. Tune in to the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Weeknights at 7, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
I'm listening daily. You are not alone. During these challenging times, listening is fundamental to promoting understanding and healing. Here's Louis Capaldi on talking to others about your mental struggles.
With mental health as well, from the perspective of someone like
someone who's maybe struggling with it themselves, like maybe they don't want it, they feel like they're overstepping a mark to speak about it with someone. They don't want to burden someone else with it or whatever. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to put your weight on someone else. But I think that, I don't know the answer to reducing stigma, but I did feel sort of like, I didn't feel pride when I put it out or when I finished it, but when I got people messaging me about it and coming up to me, and if I was in a bar somewhere and someone just came up randomly and spoke to me about it, I'm like, it's not weird, but it's so like strange that this is like, I'm still like, but nice strange that someone who I don't know felt comfortable enough to come and talk to me about it because I had written this song.
Talk has the power to save lives. Find out more at imlistening.org.
KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
This is a Fox News Alert. A winner in Wisconsin. I'm Lisa Brady. The Fox News Decision Desk now projects that Joe Biden will win Wisconsin. That further narrows the path for President Trump to reach the 270 electoral votes needed for a second term. 5 other states are still considered too close to call, and Wisconsin is one of several with less than 1 point between the two candidates. The Trump campaign now making a move in Michigan as the president takes issue with ballots in more than one state. Fox's John Decker is live in Washington.
The Trump campaign filing suit in the Michigan Court of Claims to halt the counting of votes until what they've been granted and they describe as meaningful access. The president currently trailing Joe Biden in Michigan by about 40,000 votes. President Trump also plans to request a formal recount in the state of Wisconsin, according to the state's campaign manager, who claims so-called irregularities in several Wisconsin counties. Biden is currently leading the president in the Badger State by more than 20,000 votes. Lisa?
Thanks, John. One southern state could also be decided soon.
Georgia may still have 250,000 votes to count, but Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger says they may finish enough of that pile today.
My team has sent reminders to counties to get let me repeat, all of our results counted today. Every legal vote will count.
And that the nation could know how Georgia voted by the end of today. The state is worth 16 electoral votes and has been an eyed prize by Democrats, though the vote counting so far in Georgia seems to favor President Trump.
Fox's Evan Brown. North Carolina, Nevada, and Pennsylvania also still counting, with Joe Biden's Electoral College lead now standing at 248 to 214. Republicans, though, appear closer to keeping control of the Senate after a win for Susan Collins in Maine today. America is listening to Fox News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Air Comfort Service heating and cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly to mostly sunny skies, a little windy. 75 for the high today. 82 the record from back in 1978. Tonight, partly cloudy. 49 degrees, partly to mostly sunny for Thursday afternoon. 72. Weather continues to be nice. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, sunshine 70 to 75 degrees. Rain coming in late on Monday. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it's a right fit for you. And check out the podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's digital editor, Megan Crane.
You have been hearing the phrase, others can't compete with complete. So just exactly what does that mean?
Well, at Complete Auto Body, they are the leaders in the industry and always strive to be the best. They offer touchless service, and they are proud to offer pickup and delivery to any of their services. Your safety is the utmost importance to them as they sanitize their shop several times a day. They are also offering $50 off any repair, big or small, for any new customers, even if the repair is $49. And then it's free for our first-time customers that require our auto body collision repair and or our mechanical service repairs. Lastly, while we repair your vehicle, don't worry. We have you covered with our loaner cars for only $9.99 per day while the car is in repair. To put it simply, they offer the complete experience. This is where they show you Complete's mission. They are a family and will serve you as if you were one of their own. With 5 convenient locations, others can't compete with Complete. CompleteAB.com.
Hey there, it's Billy with Inside Out Tax. I used to work for the IRS and I help people every day get to the bottom of their tax problems. If you're being inundated through the mail, if you've had someone from the IRS show up at your home or place of work, then give me a call to set up a free 30-minute consultation at 636-495-5700. That's 636-495-5700. Or reach out to us through our website at InsideOutTax.com.
LakesideRenovationAndDesign.com is the website when you are looking to do that home renovation inside or outside. Lakeside is the place to go. They're artists when it comes to what they can do to your house, and they are so good at how they go through the process. So much so they used to be Lakeside Exteriors, and people loved the expertise that they had when it came to James Hardy siding and doing the outdoor transformations, that people said, come in and please do my kitchen remodel. Will you please do my bathroom remodel? Will you please do my home edition? And they said, yeah, of course we could do that. So they started to do interiors more, and they became Lakeside Renovation and Design. They have 18 months interest-free financing right now, which will help you get into that home project that you want to get done to make your house even more of a home, especially while we are spending a lot more time in it. Make that space, that finished space, be your office or your time away, or maybe a place where maybe even the kids can go sit and learn if they're doing some learning from home. Lots of options available for you, and Lakeside Renovation and Design will walk you through it each and every step of the way. Go with the very best. LakesideRenovationAndDesign.com.
Critical thinking for critical times. The free exchange of ideas. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Download the radio.com app and stream the station wherever you go. The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. It is 2 p.m. here in the greater St. Louis area, and we still don't know who has won the presidential election. But you're in the right place, because as news happens, we are going to bring it to you, including the potential of a Trump news conference, which could be happening shortly. And also Joe Biden has come out and said that they potentially might speak after Wisconsin was called for them. So we are going to watch this, and we will take you to it when it happens. So don't go anywhere. Make sure you keep it on 97.1 FM. And if you need to take us with you and you're not in your car or at your home next to your radio, download that radio.com app and favorite 97.1 FM Talk. And when you do, you will be able to, take us with you wherever you go. It's a very, very handy thing. So we're waiting on Adam Schuster, right? He's not with us yet, is he?
Not yet.
Okay. I want to go. Well, that's okay, because I want to read this Jason Miller tweet. Jason Miller is the he is a Trump 2020 senior advisor. He has been very outspoken, and I think his position was also a bit elevated after Brad Parscale. I mean, whatever happened to him, boy, that guy just faded into the background. Probably. He's grateful for that. Jason Miller retweeted this tweet from Vaughn Hilliard, who is with NBC News and the Arizonans. So this is somebody from Arizona, with Recorder Fontes telling us there are 150,000 to 180,000 early ballots returned in Maricopa County yesterday. There now appear to be at least 605,000 uncounted Arizona ballots left.
Oh my gosh.
With Trump down by 93,509 votes, he'd need to pull off 57.73% of the remaining vote, which, from what I understand, Maricopa would be a Trump favoring county. So Jason Miller, who is a high up official, a senior advisor with the Trump 2020, he retweeted that and said, "This is big. Fox News and the AP should immediately retract their call in Arizona. Trump is going to win the state."
Oh my gosh.
Let's just
That is
take a
wild.
moment. Have you inhaled and exhaled today? Have you pulled the air into your lungs? Hold it. Expel all of it. That felt good. What if we just did breathing lessons? Maybe that'd probably be our highest rated hour.
Everyone breathe.
Did you hear it? I mean, like, we'd probably make national news. Millennial talk show radio host in St. Louis, Missouri holds breathing lessons for 1 full hour on 97.1 FM Talk. It's been that kind of day. It's been that kind of year. See,
yes.
My voice raised and I need to do it again.
Woosah.
It does feel better. I do like this.
Meditation.
Let's breathe. Can you multitask while you meditate? Is that against the...
No, that I think that defeats the purpose.
But what else are you supposed to do?
Stare blankly at a wall.
Man. I mean...
But I think that's what we talked about this last night. Fox News really put themselves in a pickle by calling Arizona so quickly. And they did not do themselves any favors, especially because things like this happen where people are tweeting that hundreds of thousands of ballots have not been counted yet, and yet they called it. It's very dangerous, and you start to lose faith in the people behind the counting.
You want to have someone to rely on.
Faith. Then you start to lose faith with the news network.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you want. You want a place that you can go to, that you can trust. And I have to say, I am searching for that place. And, there's a place I can go to. It's my Bible and it's my church. And it does not give me the answers to these particular problems, but it does remind me to recalibrate my priorities. All right, we're going to go to Adam Schuster. He's the Senior Director of Budget and Tax Research at Illinois Policy. We are monitoring right now pending remarks from both Trump and Biden campaigns. So, Adam, thank you for coming on. If they start speaking, we'll probably dip into that. But boy, Illinois Policy has got to be feeling like a little bit of extra pep in your step today after the progressive income tax. JB's $60 million personal investment went down the proverbial non-existent toilet. Adam, thanks for coming on with us. It's good to have you back.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I think you're exactly right. Illinois voters saw through the scam. They saw through the deception and the blitz of advertisements trying to convince them to support tax hikes. I think ultimately what this election came down to is that the people of Illinois they're overtaxed already. They can't afford to pay more, especially not now during the COVID-19 recession and a new round of lockdown orders that are putting people out of work, closing businesses. And ultimately, I think what people saw is that politicians, Pritzker, and other fair tax backers were selling a false promise. They were trying to get people to vote for permanent new taxing powers that would have made it easier to hike taxes on them themselves. And in return, all they were being offered was a temporary set of rates that could have changed at any time.
So now that it's done, I mean, could it be back on the ballot again? Can they get it back on there and we got to go through this whole process again?
Illinois politics, they put that stuff and have to eat it once again. But I think that the hope here is that they'll take the message, right? That this was a resounding defeat for Governor Pritzker. He has campaigned on this idea for 2 years. He spent $60 million of his own money just over the course of this election cycle, but that's not even including the advertisements and all the work they did to promote this tax hike in the recent years before that. So the hope is that they'll take the message that voters don't want this, and they want our politicians to pursue new, different strategies, not double down on the same failed tax hike status quo. And the first new strategy they should be looking at is true pension reform.
Yeah, we've heard of the non-retention of Kilbride seems to be a pretty big win as well for the potential that we could have the Supreme Court potentially in the state of Illinois weigh in on some of these issues that we'd like to see constitutional amendments on. The drastic defeat of this particular measure, we heard previously that our leaders saying, if you don't pass this, we are going to have to jack up just enormously other taxes on you because we're going to have to pay these bills one way or the other. Is that something that we need to be watching closely, or do they have any arrows in their quiver that they're ready to fire directly into the hearts of Illinois taxpayers yet again?
So I do think we need to be very, very watchful. That is something they threatened ahead of time. Interestingly, they were much more confident in their ability to hike the flat tax when it was only theoretical. I thought at the time that was probably a bluff, that they were, just trying to put their thumb on the scale and just trying to threaten people into voting for tax hikes and saying that if you don't pass this tax hike, we'll push another one. I think the reality is that would be much, much harder for them to do than they were pretending before the election. If they were to try to hike the flat tax by 20% on the backs of the working poor, on the backs of the middle class, when they're struggling with all the challenges on the world right now, they would find out exactly what the flat tax for raise taxes, because it would be overwhelming voter backlash. So we'll focus our attention on educating Illinoisans, educating lawmakers about alternatives to tax hikes. We've done that every single year. We put out reports on our website, illinoispolicy.org. Last year, we put out a 5-year fiscal plan called Illinois Forward that showed how you could responsibly balance the budget, eliminate debt, and actually start talking about tax relief, without hiking taxes on anybody. So we'll be pushing those types of ideas. We hope Springfield will take the message from taxpayers and realize that it's not just this particular tax hike, but that people are fed up with tax hikes, that they haven't been working as a strategy to balance our budget. We've been trying them. They haven't been working, and it's time to look for something else.
Adam Schuster of the Illinois Policy Institute, you have been a leader on defeating this, and we appreciate it. I encourage people to join the Lincoln Lobby on Facebook. It was a very active group in following Illinois Policy's lead there to make this happen, and we are going to be active for change in the future, for smart fiscal responsibility in the state of Illinois. Adam, a pleasure to have you on here. Thank you so much for the time.
Thanks for having me on.
Yep, we'll talk to you again soon. Carl, if you don't mind, I'd like to break a little bit early here.
Yep.
And just so we can keep our eye on the Biden camp and the Trump camp, as they are both saying that they are supposed to be making remarks here soon. We also have Adrian Norman, who is coming on with us, who's in Arizona, as I understand it, or near Arizona, and has written a book on voter fraud, election fraud. And we're going to ask him to give us his thoughts and opinions on what's coming up next, and writer for the Epoch Times, among other things. So we're going to have that guest when we come back. But the Biden campaign, the Trump campaign, if they talk, we are going to have it right here on the Annie Frey Show. So stick with us. We got you. We're going to be right back.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show.
So we're marching into the holiday season. Yes, election day is over. Election circus, not so much, not quite yet. But we're moving towards Thanksgiving and towards Christmas and baking season and weight gain season. And then we get to New Year's and then we go, oh, we got to lose it all. It's what we do on January 1st. We make a lot of promises. Let's go into January 1st having accomplished, having achieved those goals that we have for ourselves. And I got just the thing for you. It's Slim 180. They've helped me lose over 40 pounds on the rapid HCG weight loss program, medically supervised to get you through the process to get the weight off. And you are going to really, really appreciate the guidance that they give you throughout the course of this plan. They also have a traditional plan that you can check out on their website at slim180.com. They also have a new quick start lipo-lean program as well. All Slim 180 centers are following strict guidelines to keep you safe. Get your free consultation scheduled now. 888-754-6111. That's 888-754-6111. Online at myslim180.com.
I didn't feel so well, so I searched my symptoms on Google, and now I'm being followed by uncomfortable ads. I hate feeling like my personal data is being bought and sold. I downloaded DuckDuckGo and saw a difference right away. Take back your privacy with DuckDuckGo.
Before diamond expert Eric Freund joined the team at Diamonds Direct, he was with a competitor and did a little secret shopping.
I wanted to find out why customers were coming over here and buying from here instead of us.
And what did he find?
Far and away lower prices on diamonds for better diamonds.
So like many of his customers, Eric made the switch to Diamonds Direct.
I realized that I was going to continue to lose sales to Diamonds Direct, so I figured I better join them.
Today, Eric is proud to be at Diamonds Direct, where he can offer his customers more than he ever dreamed possible.
Not only do we have the most competitive pricing in the industry, but the whole package that you get with it is incomparable.
And that whole package includes diamonds that are handpicked straight from the diamond cutters, using the highest quality standards with no compromises.
We hand select our diamonds based off of visual beauty, not just based off of paperwork. Our diamond is going to have more brilliance, more fire, more sparkle, and more shine than anybody else's.
Superior quality, unbeatable value, and a world-class experience.
I wanted to be a part of that magic.
Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Hi, it's Michael Mohan with Community Mortgage. With all the bad news out there, it's easy to miss the good news. Mortgage rates are at historic lows, making now a great time to buy or refinance a home. My customers are locking in the best rates in a generation. Now is the time to use the equity in your home to cash out for a remodel, pay off high-interest credit card debt, or rid yourself of the dreaded PMI. During these volatile times, you need an experienced local loan officer working for you. Call me, Michael Mohan, at 314-336-6050. I'm here in St. Louis, and when you call, you talk to me. Whether you are purchasing or refinancing, I want to help you save money on your home loan. Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage, 314-336-6050. Online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage LLC, NMLS 250353224143.
You're tuned into 97.1 FM Talk. And so is St. Louis. More and more people are tuning in every day for information with perspective. It's 97.1 FM Talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
Feels like I'm standing in a timeless dream of light mists, of pale amber rose.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I'm lost in a deep cloud of heavenly scent, touching, discovering you.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. It's another one of those Zen songs that I just want to absorb into my veins on a crazy election day +1. Man. So we're watching as Biden camp is potentially going to speak. The Trump camp is potentially going to speak. We are going to have you, we're going to take you to that if and when that happens. But I want to get straight to our guest, a friend of mine, a friend of the show here, Adrian Norman, joins us right now. He's a writer. He's an author. He knows a little bit about election fraud. Adrian, currently right now, where are you? Are you in Arizona right now?
Arizona, yeah.
So you gotta tell us, Adrian, what in the world is going on in the state of Arizona in this election? I thought you'd be the best person to talk to about this.
Yeah, I'm not sure anybody knows. It's kind of crazy. So there have been a number of anomalies here in our state, notably that at some jurisdictions that have, that they're reliably red districts, they were advocating using Sharpies rather than pens. The problem with Sharpies is that they don't reflect light in the optical scanner. And
how does that happen?
It's not because, I don't know. Well, election workers were telling people to use Sharpies at those locations. It didn't happen at every polling location. I personally used a pen in mine. But that, and then also last night, officials stated that they had counted 95% of the votes. We found out today that was a lie. They'd only counted 86% of the votes. So there are some things that are happening here that are a little shady. There's some people talking about coming to town to maybe do some observations of those election counts.
So people are suggesting in Arizona right now that it be taken off of the board for Biden, and then there's some confidence coming directly from high ups in the Trump campaign that Arizona is going to potentially end up in the Trump column. I mean, is this something you see potentially happening here down the road?
Yeah, we got, I think, still about 500,000 outstanding ballots. So there's Arizona is definitely in play for the Trump campaign. I think we have more concerns about some other areas around the country that are seeing some problems. Wisconsin just called the election for Biden, but Wisconsin has more counted ballots than they do registered voters. So I think the Trump administration has already called for a recount because there are so many questions about the ballots there, and the fact that the over-registrations mean that those numbers absolutely cannot be correct. Tons of problems in Michigan, tons of problems in Pennsylvania. So this election is, as expected, is a complete horror show.
So, when it comes to election fraud and it comes to the court system, how are you went into this election, I'm sure, with your eyebrows raised and ready to see things happening and unfolding that a lot of us were hoping wouldn't have happened. Does the state of where we are right now, does this surprise you?
It doesn't. We've seen this before. During the midterms, this is what happened in Florida. We had an election that was over, and then actually the presidential election as well in 2016. Then boxes of ballots were found after the election. No chain of custody, no idea where they came from, who filled them out, where they were dropped off. They just pop up. 100% of those votes just happen to go for Democrats, and they're all counted toward the final total. It's the same thing that is similar to what happened in California when 3 Republican candidates were upset who were running for their House races. Ballots mysteriously showed up. All of them went to Democrats and through the race. So, unfortunately, this is kind of par for the course. And I think throughout the course of the year, we kind of saw that people on the left were actually sort of preparing for this, by pushing widespread balloting, changing the laws to not have to toss the ballot because of signature mismatches, changing the laws so that even if it's not postmarked, it still gets counted. All these things just open the door to massive voter fraud.
We're speaking with Adrian Norman. He is author of The Art of the Steal, Exposing Fraud and Vulnerabilities in America's Elections, out at the very beginning of this year. What kind of, when you put this together, what kind of fraud and vulnerabilities did you highlight before we got into the current situation that we're in right now?
So it was interesting because I had to kind of group there's a lot of different ways to tackle this issue, so I kind of wanted to group them together by themes. So, I covered voter suppression. I did cover mail-in and absentee ballots in certain chapters. I talked about a lot about the over-registration of ghost voters that we have on the rolls, which are just illegal names, names that shouldn't be on voter rolls that are actively on voter rolls because states, for some reason, won't comply with the National Voter Registration Act and purge those names as they're legally required to do. And again, all of those things are pathways to voter fraud. You wouldn't be able to have issues with mail-in ballots if you had clean voter rolls because there would be no way to match a fake ballot up with a name that's not on there if that person had already voted or if they were already registered in another state, et cetera, et cetera. So again, we've a lot of the things that I covered in the book are happening right now because we see those same things playing out with this election and how dirty it is.
So what do you see happening next year? A lot of court challenges and a super long drawn out process, or do you think that some of these issues might be solved pretty quickly and we'll have some sort of answer one way or the other soon?
I mean, the Trump administration just said that they just filed 2 lawsuits in Pennsylvania, one about poll observer access and one about voter ID requirements. It's also looking to intervene in the pending Supreme Court case over the extended receipt deadline for absentee ballots. So I don't think this is going to be over anytime soon. Hopefully within the next 30 days, but we're already seeing legal action, as we should, being taken to try to remedy this crazy situation we're in.
Well, I want to encourage people to go to Amazon and check out your book, Adrian Norman, The Art of the Steal, Exposing Fraud and Vulnerabilities in America's Elections, because this is the type of thing we can't get all up in arms mad about now and not do anything before we're voting again in 2 years in the midterms. There's going to have to be action taken and some responsibility taken to ensure that when we're having these elections, that it's something that we can all trust and be confident in.
Well, the problem is that there are some people that don't want it secure. There are people who are fighting for the very protections that are weak in this election and are exploiting it. So we're not all on the same page. We don't all have the same goals. And that's the problem. Until people start electing officials at the local level who are committed to running clean elections, we're going to continue to have this chaos every single cycle. There are some people who have a win-at-all-cost mentality, and they're willing to exploit the system. They're willing to break the law just to get their guy in.
All right. Adrian Norman, thank you so much for the time today. It's great to talk to you, and we will be watching Arizona and connect with you again as this continues to develop. Thank you for the time today. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye. Follow Adrian on Twitter. You can watch as he is reacting to everything in real time as well there. And I appreciate his contribution. Adrian Norman, DC on Twitter. So we're sitting here, Carl, you're watching. I don't know, Katie, if you're in front of a TV at all, but we're watching as we've been told that both campaigns, Biden and Trump, are potentially going to be making statements here shortly. We hope that it is before the 3:00 hour. I imagine that the Glover Show will carry that if they do, but you'll have to stay tuned and, obviously get all the reaction that comes from the DGS. And I think that it's, I don't know what they're going to say, but I have a feeling that there's going to be, there's a lot of time ahead of us to be able to get this to be able to get this sorted out, and they're gonna make sure that it doesn't get rushed and every vote gets counted and everything is fair and equitable and so on and so forth. So,
was it a good idea for Biden to come out yesterday? I mean, did we learn anything from Biden coming out yesterday and speaking, and Trump coming out yesterday and speaking?
No, it's all politics.
Okay.
Biden comes out at 10:30, and I mean it's and he said, gosh, the fact that Jill is standing next to him and like reminding him of it's just a terrible look. We had it made me laugh because we had a troll on our YouTube live last night, and I was joking around and I was hollering at my husband to get me some pizza, which is just, because I'm a really nice person. We were just joking around. I think I sold a lot of Emo's pizza last night, though.
Heck yeah.
But I said something about that, and this person commented that basically that my husband must be a beta male because I like yell at him and boss him around. I'm like, well, first of all, you don't know my husband, and I'm not going to get into the merits and detractions of alphas and betas, but obviously you're just out there to troll here. And there were some additional comments that were kind of, anti-Trump, obviously. And here you have Joe Biden at 10:30 at night standing in front of a podium with Jill whispering in his ear and telling him what to do and who to say hi to and who to acknowledge and what their name is. And I mean, it's just not a good look. Like it's not something that exudes confidence and strength. And then you look at Trump, and there's an abundance of confidence and an enormous amount of strength in his positioning on the actual issue. And it's just like, it's unbelievable, the stark contrast between these two. And it all comes back to this. This is all about Trump. Everything is about Trump. It's always all been about Trump. It will always be about Trump until Trump isn't there anymore. And then if it's bad, it's still going to be about Trump. Joe Biden is going to have the easiest presidency ever because anything that is bad is going to be Trump's fault. Trump is going to get the blame for everything that happened that was bad. If the economy starts to soar when Joe Biden gets in, and if Joe Biden undoes a bunch of the things that Donald Trump did, and the economy soars, which it won't, but if it were to soar when Joe Biden gets in there, he's going to take credit for all of that, just like Donald Trump took credit for things when he made his executive orders and undid a lot of the things that Obama had implemented. But Trump didn't get to take any credit for that. It's all about Trump. What are these people going to do if Donald Trump isn't there to obsess over 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? What are they going to do? Because
bored?
you can't. I mean, I don't know that they know how to do their jobs outside of proximity on any issue, any position, any policy, any news development when Trump isn't at the epicenter of it. And if Trump loses this election like this, what's he going to do?
Oh my gosh. I keep thinking about his Twitter. I keep thinking about, okay, so if Trump loses, his Twitter is going to be so much more insane than it already is. And if he loses, like you just said, Annie, I think the story is still about Trump. I think that Biden and his administration, unless they do some very, very radical things, which they could, the story is still, what is Trump saying? What is Trump doing? Is he still rallying around America? He still has the media wrapped around his finger. He's still living in these people's heads rent-free. And so, I mean, if he loses, that'll be very, very disappointing. But I think he is still able to get a lot of his messaging across.
This is an interesting question here from Eric on our YouTube channel. He said, question, how much does this show change if Biden becomes president? I'm glad you asked. I don't think it's going to change at all. I don't think that, the content changes from day to day, but of course it's going to change. Of course it's going to change from day to day because the news changes from day to day. We'll cover the news and we'll tell you what you need to know and we'll provide you with the information that we have and then we'll discuss it and we'll have fun along the way. The suggestion that Donald Trump is the epicenter of what we do here. I know there are a lot of people who think that that's the case, but the truth is Donald Trump is going to be out of office at some point or another. I mean, maybe not. Maybe he'll just keep running and winning. Who knows? But if, when Donald Trump moves on, I look forward to that. I look forward to, I want him to get another 4 years. I think he still can get another 4 years. If the Republicans are put into a position where Donald Trump loses like this is not a sound rebuke of Donald Trump. This is going to be razor thin either way. It's not a solid endorsement of Donald Trump. There's no red wave here. There's no blue wave here. Nobody gets to puff their chest out today on the whole of what took place yesterday. There is a lot of room for introspection and self-improvement, no matter how we end up right now after this, because everything is so close. If Donald Trump doesn't win election this time, and we have a Republican Senate, it's the buffer we need to make sure that there isn't court packing, that there isn't, some sort of squad-like far left progressive socialistic platform that gets pushed through. And then we hold our breath. We sit and we wait and we regroup and we build on the base that has been greatly expanded. The reach that the Republican Party has put together here in the midst of the Democratic Party, who has run on the idea that Republicans are old white guys and that they hate anybody else who's not old white guy. That's not the case. And we saw that today. The Republicans picked up seats in the House. The Senate is still in flux, but it's likely to be retained by Republicans. The Democrats are going to have to ask themselves who they are. And it's very possible that in trying to please everybody, they please nobody in their own party. And the Republicans, coming off of a potential, not a determined, a potential loss that is going to be this razor thin with Donald Trump up against the wall with spears pointed at him from obviously the Biden campaign, but from the Hillary campaign from the very beginning, and the people in the FBI and our Justice Department that spied on him. That happened, folks. That was unlawful, and it happened, and it's still going to come out. There's a Mueller report. I think November 18th is the date I have in my head. I don't know if that's spot on, but this is still happening, and this is still down the road. Every time this president pivoted to move into a different room, he was met with an unfair set of standards that he's been measured by. And if he would have been measured fairly, I don't know if he would have come out with, a sky high approval rating. I don't know. His approval rating might be even lower. This president has succeeded at many things. And there are other instances where Donald Trump himself, the man, might have lost this election because people can't stand who he is. And they thought Joe Biden was a nicer guy. And when they filled in the circle for Joe Biden, they felt better about themselves because Joe Biden seemed like a nicer dude. And Donald Trump seems like a bully to them. The problem is that Donald Trump was the bully that stepped in and onto the playground to defend this country and what this country stands for when nobody else would. If you go back and you look at what the Republicans have put up in the past, Mitt Romney, John McCain, these are not the Republicans that are going to fight this Democratic Party. They're good people, probably. I have no problems with who they are as humans. Take all the politics out. I'm sure they're great, wonderful grandparents and parents and family people and nice friends and, upstanding citizens. But they are not willing to fight to defend this country and win. And it shows because they lost. And what did we lose in the process? We got 8 years of a man who promised to fundamentally transform the United States of America, and he did. That created Donald Trump. We are here right now because of the massive leftist pivot that we took in 2008, and the country realized, I don't really know if this is what we're for. Donald Trump was the guy who stood up and was able to push that back, and it came with baggage. Hard baggage to swallow. And I get why people don't love him. I get why people don't like him. But I don't get why you would put the country in the hands of a Joe Biden who is incapable of leading this country and won't be the person who's leading this country if, in fact, he ends up meeting the 270 electoral votes to win the presidency. He's not going to be the person. Somebody will do it. Some buddies will do it. But it won't be just Joe Biden. I don't think it can be. I've got a big problem with that. But if the problem exists and I don't like it, doesn't mean it's not there. We're going to have to learn to deal. So how are we going to get through this show if Donald Trump doesn't get elected? Never a concern in my mind. We're going to get through it together, and we're going to be grateful again that we live in this country and that, we have food on our tables and we have the opportunity to provide for ourselves, and we're going to fight like hell to make sure that we retain that. And I think that a Joe Biden presidency might set us up for a fantastic opportunity for a clean slate, a cleansing of sorts, of purity, to move into a 2024 where we have an enormous bench of strong, young, bright, diverse Republicans who could take us into the next generation of conservatism and sanity and sensibility. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue to watch to see if Trump and Biden, either of them speak. We will carry it if they have it. Otherwise, we'll be right here to cover any updates as they come. I saw Chris Stirewalt's talking. He's got his bow tie on and he's doing his thing. And I don't know what he said, but we'll take a peek at it. Any news updates happen? You'll have them right here. Back in a minute.
The most unbelievable blue eyes I've ever seen. You've got
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show.
there under a blue sky with pure white stars. Exotic sweetness. Magical time.
Are you looking for an expert IT company to help support your business, nonprofit, your large enterprise? Well, I'll tell you right now, Forensic IT, the very best of the business, serving both sides of the river with locations in both sides of the river, but also reaching out nationally. If you need IT support, and you do, you need Forensic IT. Here's the number to call, 314-677-3950. That's 314-677-3950. $39.50. They have both on-site and remote support, and they specialize in manufacturing support, system patching, antivirus updates, backups, disaster recovery solutions, new system installations, and proactive maintenance. Forensic IT works to maximize your system's uptime and discover root cause solutions to any technical problems that you may encounter. Call the very best in the IT business, Forensic IT. 314-677-3950. You can find them right now online at forensicit.com.
Ameren, Illinois has been installing smart meters throughout the state. While you probably don't notice a difference day to day, this advanced technology is giving us the power to do more. These smart meters allow us to detect and isolate outages faster than ever before. Plus, they give you more ways to help control your energy usage and save you money. As we continue to upgrade our network, your smart meter will continue to become, well, smarter. Now that's energy at work. Learn more at amerenillinois.com/metroeast.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. I've been warning our clients that IRS employees are back at work since mid-July, and their collection efforts have ramped up. Well, sure enough, it looks like it's happening. So if you have unfiled tax returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Tax resolution plans are based off your current income. So if your current income is less than normal due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this is precisely the time for the Lance Drury Law Firm to help you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. The election is over and everyone is trying to get locked in before it's too late. Mortgage rates are still sitting near these all-time lows, but it won't last forever. At the Home Loan Expert Office, we are still locking rates in the twos, saving our clients hundreds, even thousands of dollars a month with an easy refinance. Get locked in today and start saving now at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Get in your comfort zone with 0% financing for 72 months and Carrier Cool Cash rebates on qualifying equipment when you purchase and install a new HVAC system. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Gene Evans. The Democrats are all doom and gloom. The dark winter, Joe Biden says. President Trump says, hey, we're going to get through this. We want that message of hope. Not everything's going to hell and only the government can save you.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Feeling like a bullet, jumping at a gun. I'm feeling like a winner. I feel like the one. You're doing something to me. You're doing something strange. Well, jump back, talk to me, woman. You make me wanna make a baby.
So I just got an email here that I'm reading, and I'm going to read it to you on air. And I've read it mostly. This is just really risky stuff. It's from an Aina Yanoria. And she says, hi, Annie, I'm not American. I am Filipino based in Qatar, Middle East. I recently subscribed to your channel and YouTube. I know nothing about politics in the U.S., and President Trump does not have a good rep in the Philippines. The left wing do not like Trump. Well, that's the same here, ma'am. That's the power of the media, I guess. In the Philippines, the mainstream media has still integrity to deliver the truth. However, they are overpowered by, quote, keyboard warriors, end quote, of the administration to create their own narrative. The paid bloggers to always defend the president. Though I am not based there anymore, our freedom of speech is already compromised. Recently, President Duterte, I hope I'm saying that right, signed the anti-terror bill. With this bill, even the mildest government critics can be labeled terrorists. Considering the administration has been undermining the human rights of its citizens, example, war on drugs, this is just the worst. Sans COVID, people can't can no longer do any peaceful protest. If they do, they will be arrested.
Oh.
Watching and listening to podcasts about the U.S. election opened my eyes to a whole. This is making me emotional. Open my eyes is probably more of a state of my mind than it is this email. Open my eyes to a whole new variety of suppression. I've never been to the U.S., hence I have no clue how it is there. What we only knew is Trump is the worst president ever elected in America. Well, that was what the MSM mainstream media keeps saying. I never bother to fact check, though, since it does not really affect me. But these past weeks, watching to your show, and others as well, I realized that despite Trump not possessing a commendable character or gentleman attitude and whatnot, he delivers results. And people outside the U.S. do not know that. It's really frustrating that the mainstream media does not report such things. When they brokered the peace agreement of the UAE, Bahrain, and Sudan with Israel, it was big news over here. We just hoped that the whole GCC would follow. Anyway, I would like to say thank you for doing the show. It's very informative and entertaining. With all the mainstream media fabrication of the news, it is liberating to watch a show that does not advocate for the leftist agenda and only committed to reporting the truth.
Dang.
Keep it up and God bless. Best,
Dang.
Aina. I don't know how to say that name, Aenna, but that is like the juice I needed in my week. I mean, when you think about that, honestly, so grateful for the connections that we're making with our show on social media, because the future of how we are going to communicate with one another is expansive, and radio is the best way to talk to people. The fact that you get to punch a button and we're there and you can listen to us and it costs you nothing. The gift that I have been given to talk about the things that we're talking about right now, man, when I started this show, I said it's a great day because you woke up in the United States of America. That is a huge freaking deal.
Mm-hmm.
When you listen to this email here and you hear about an anti-terror bill where they're arresting people who speak against the government, it's not America, folks. And you're walking and you're walking on American soil and you're breathing American air. You hit the jackpot. It's worth fighting like hell to keep. Which is why we're going to continue to do that. And you know, this country's gone through some stuff before. The globe has gone through some stuff before. I've got, several people messaging the show page or commenting on the live stream, and you guys are freaking out. I'm not a cool cucumber here. What is the worst thing that could happen? Joe Biden become the president? That's not the worst thing that could happen. Joe Biden is still the president of you in the United States of America. And if the republic that we have, if we can keep it, we have to fight it back. We have to make sure that we take what we are learning from right now and we move forward and we build upon it. I mean, I look at what the state of Missouri, man, if you missed what Tim Jones, if you're kind of wanting the summation of what took place in the state of Missouri yesterday, you need to go check the Annie Fry Show podcast. Go subscribe. Gosh, I ask you guys to do a lot of things for me. Thank you. Appreciate it. Go subscribe to the Annie Fry Show podcast and listen to what Tim Jones said, because he just laid it out. Boom, boom, boom. We're looking in the state of Illinois. And we've got +2 seats for the Republicans in the state house. Now we're only 2 seats in the super minority. We got a long ways to go. And you look at what we're seeing here in Missouri. It's like the stark contrast is so drastic. And in the United States of America, I live in Illinois. I live 20 minutes away from the Mississippi River. I could be a Missourian tomorrow if I wanted to. Katie would let me move in with her.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably have
Come
to
on
sleep
down
in the kitchen.
Yes, you would.
When you live in the United States of America, we have freedom. It's ours to protect. It's ours to fight for. And when you listen to this email, and she's watching right now on YouTube. I mean, seriously, I'm so touched by this. I know that this is personal for me, because going through all of this, I was up last night till 3 a.m. covering this, and back up today and still working very hard. to be on top of everything for you. But knowing that just even something as simple as an American Midwestern, there's not a lot of weirdness going on here on the Annie Fry Show. Pretty cut and dry, that you could have access to this version of freedom and expression is so important for the world to see. And for us to be able to have our message out there and to be able to continue to do it. This is so important. This communication is so important. And when we ask ourselves about how scary it's going to be going forward, if Joe Biden becomes the president of the United States, it's not the scariest thing that can happen to us, folks. We will withstand this. But if you feel it in your gut right now, like there's anything more that you could have done, and I'm not talking about giving $1 here and giving $1 there. I'm just talking about effort, running for a local race, finding somebody who is running for a local race and propping them up. Amy Ellick is a huge, huge, huge accomplishment in the Metro East. And you look at what Tim Jones was saying, top to bottom in the state of Missouri, the amount of success that was there, that is happening because of people like you. Not people like you see on television, not people that you hear that I get on here as experts on the Annie Fry Show, or that you hear Mark have on, or Brian Kilmeade. It's people like you that end up making actual change. And over the course of time, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, every election cycle, we can make a bigger difference. And if you've always wanted something to change and you've always waited for somebody to change it, ask yourself if you can do it. Ask yourself what you can do to make sure that that change comes from you, that you've contributed to it in some way. Joe Biden said Antifa is an idea. America is an idea, of course, and it's something we're in constant pursuit of. It's an opportunity. It's not a guarantee. It's never been a guarantee. The idea of guarantee is what everybody else does. Everybody else in the world has some level of guarantee where they're going to hand you something and you're going to take it and you're going to like it. In America, we are told we're not going to hand you anything, but we'll clear the runway for you. You want to take off, you can soar as high as you want. You might fall and you're going to have to get back up if you want to try again. But we clear the runway here in the United States of America. And if there are obstacles in the way, we need to address those obstacles as we go. The American idea is as alive today as it ever has been. And if you feel a little bit of patriotic fire in your belly right now because you're not sure that you like the way this is headed, thank God we live in a country where we get to vote again in 2 years to affect more change, and in 4 years to affect even more change. And also remember, Donald Trump could still win this thing. And we may not know for a really long time.
Oh, no.
So the question about what's going to happen if Donald Trump isn't the president of the United States, let's put a pin in that and see, because I don't know when we're going to know that. And I also don't know when we are going to be able to find out if it's a court situation, if it's a recount situation. We don't know. I don't have the answers. But I do have the company to lend you and to invite you into the show every day, noon to 3. We'll get through this, folks. It will be okay, one way or the other. Inhale, exhale, and then promise me that you'll do it at least one more time. The Dave Glover Show is going to come up, and like we said, the Biden camps and the Trump camps are expected to speak. We're going to have this stuff covering for you here on 97.1. You're going to be in the right place if you've got your radio on 97.1. And if you don't mind, give us a subscription on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We'll be back tomorrow, folks. Chin up.
Rock and roll, turn up the band, find the hole, gonna lose control tonight. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Boost number 1, the Monsheen team at Berkshire